All right, we are live. Welcome to Wax Wednesday plus crypto market analysis on what day is it? Wednesday, 21st of August. It is a scorcher here in Los Angeles. It needs to cool down. The sun needs to chill out to cool down a little bit. But yeah, this is for the people watching the VOD. For anybody joining us live, we'll probably see you in a minute. Max has the FTW Wax chart pulled up. Crypto market's also been kind of just all over the place. I can't really keep up with it lately. Like, I feel like every other day, Sid's like, "Oh, everything's gonna die or everything's gonna pump," and I'm like, "I needs to make up his mind." I don't really know. I think it's some sort of like slot machine game. Not Spin Tycoon. Spin Tycoon is like gonna launch on Solana, I believe. Spin Tycoon's like the former Wax Studios, now Tyranno Studios game that they were promoting as the AAA gaming partner, mobile gaming partner for Woofy. I believe that's going to be the token they airdrop to holders of Woof on Solana. I don't know that it'll be on Wax. Spinia, I think, is. I don't know. But I think this might be some sort of like slot machine style project. I don't really know how it works, but I feel like I've seen people. I don't know. Let me Google it. Spinia. What? Spinia World. Okay, let's see. I'm on their website. I will tell you what it says. Economic spin to earn game developed. I guess based on NFTs, you earn more each time you spin. Seems like trying to like see if the game. I don't know. It looks like you have these little. You have common, uncommon, epic, legend, and based on your rarity, you have a higher shot to earn more. It seems like it's basically a clicker with gambling involved, as far as like. Which I mean, is all clickers for the most part. Like, I think it's just more that like maybe there's more RNG on what you earn each time. There's like an earnings calculator. This is how you know a project's good. You know a game is good when they have an earnings calculator on their front page. I can send you the thing if you want to look at it. I don't know. Looks like sort of the traditional. Sent you a link if you want to. It looks. I don't know. I can't actually tell what the fuck the game is from the front page. I guess it kind of shows a little video of like things spinning and then earning going up, but it's got like runes and like creatures and shit. But I don't think there's like any battling or anything. It's like a gambling game mixed with not even gambling because I don't think you're spending anything. Like I didn't even want to log in with my wallet. I was like, I'm out. I'm out at the login screen. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of like what was popular in Wax 2 years ago, but maybe people enjoy it. I don't know. Like the appetite for this style of game has kind of left our community. I think at least like I don't really hear people talking about clickers in Neon Space very often, unless it's on Taun. Taun clickers got popular for a minute, but like this sort of thing is out of fashion on Wax. To deposits. Stake them into your slots. Spinny is ready to. So maybe you have to own one of the NFT. Pretty like unclear how any of this works if you're. Just say steel blade. Steelade. Kind of looks like Alien Worlds mixed with a slot machine mixed with Pokemon, like. But it seems like you buy an NFT that is like your mining device. This is essentially your shovel, and then you can use it to spin, and then the spin earns you their token. I'm guessing, so it's really not that different than Alien Worlds, but hard. I mean, a mystery box. Is that different than the TG game? We don't know. We've never done Spinio. This is our first time looking at Winterfell, so you'd have to let us know. But I don't know. There's an interface on the website. It's also like not super clear how any of this stuff works if you're not into it. Like it's a pretty bad like there's no like. You get one free spin, I guess. Oh, you get spin. That would also make sense why the token's dumping. Or keep generating new accounts. If whatever you got is worth as much as it takes to. If it's worth more than it takes 5 wax to generate a new account, you can do that until it's not. Essentially. I don't think that's gonna be worth 5 wax. Not enough to keep generating new accounts though. Wait, I don't think people can hear you right now. I think that's on me. No, I can hear you, but sorry for the people stream Max. I've been talking to no one. This is gonna be the most fucking confusing intro to a stream. I changed it because I was Can you speak now?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, now you're on. Yeah, I had like a meeting with Sammy over. I had a meeting with Sammy over Discord, so I didn't want like my like weird like all my computer audio is being fed into Discord for you for watching the video, so I changed it. That's my bad. First 9 minutes of this video are going to be very strange. It's me talking to nobody, but
I see.
problem averted. Yeah, Max is looking at Spinia. He's just saying he did a free
Yeah.
spin.
So I did a free spin. It looks like once every 24 hours I can get a free spin. I don't know if you always get one of this spin token, but it also looks like one of the spin token is worth almost 0.1 wax. Even though it's on a pretty clear downward trend.
I don't know. 0.1 wax
trajectory
every
here.
24 hours isn't even worth my time.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that it's worth like click farming, but I guess I wonder if I can now use my one spin to like
I think you need to buy
gamble
the
more.
NFTs. Like
I think
you
so
need to
too.
deposit.
Yeah.
I think Spinny is different than Spinio, which is the token. I think you need one of those.
Spinny. Let's see what one of those is. I'm just out of curiosity. Or if you can like, I wonder if you can like make them in game somehow, because there's a craft section here. Spinny. There you go.
What's the cost?
Craft. Price. What is this price? I don't know. Craft.
This website gives you like no info on anything.
Let's
I'm
see,
guessing
sure.
that's the token that you earn. And if you
Oh, there you go. Not enough spin. Yeah. Okay. So
I guess if you
634 spin.
claim for free days, then you could make that thing, and then you could do non-free spin.
Yeah. So this would take you 2 years of claiming to mint this guy, and then it gets more expensive from there.
Wait, 2 years?
So it's gonna.
I thought you got like.
Yeah. I got
Which-
one spin.
Oh, so yeah, that'll take a long time.
Yeah, I got 1.00 or whatever from
I
that
thought you got
free.
100 for some reason. Math is off.
Let's see. Oh
Because
wait.
that number at the top says 100.
I wonder where I got. Did I get those from somewhere?
I think that's the pot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure like which of this is in my wallet.
It says in
like,
the bottom of the right. It says you also have a chance to win the jackpot every time. Every time players hit the claim button, 10% of the spin goes into the jackpot. So there's a chance that you can win more than just the one if you do the free.
Okay, interesting. I wonder if I have the spin in just OJUB2.wham.
You should. I mean, it says you claimed
I wonder
it.
if it's just on.
If you can sell it on
Let's
Alcor, you
see.
should have it.
I was signed into a different wallet that had it there, and I got it from like an LP farm for the Woofy farm. I think used to pay.
For your most recent transaction.
Oh right, yeah. Here we go. Spin Worlds. None of it is a send token though. Or here, send token. Oh, that's a bridge thing I did a while ago.
I don't know. Maybe you can't. You have to withdraw it on chain.
So it's probably like in game I have it or something. I don't know. It's not. Oh, here you go. Wallet 0, but it also says game balance 0.
Probably need the refresh.
So I don't know what that free. I'm not sure if that. Okay, yeah. I guess let's try refreshing. Still zeros across the board here.
I don't know. I feel like we can move on from this. We don't need to.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I was just looking at what some of these
price is
tokens were
tanking,
doing.
and it makes sense why this is just like any other game where you can generate tokens that make you assets that can generate more of the token, which we've all seen on Wax with Our Planet and everything that came after Alien Worlds, where all this stuff has an expiration date. Besides somehow Alien Worlds, which is still going, which I'm still not convinced Alien Worlds is going to last forever, but
1 minute. Ooh. Let's see how this. Oh, look, and Woofy is changing direction here relative to Wax now too. So your Wax Woofy farms are gonna be biasing into the Woofy side and selling out of the Wax side on the way down here.
Oh, is that like an official trading view?
Yeah, it's a trading view on Wax on Edge. He has like a trading view.
That wasn't always like that, was it?
On Wax on Edge, it was for a long time now. But yeah, I think even Alcor has a trading view for their spot market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I always remember Alcor, like you couldn't log into your algorithmic thing, but it seems like it's working on.
Yeah. You can't log into it there either now.
Usually when you do the chart stuff on Alcor, we don't see your what do you call it, strength band.
Yeah. Oh yeah, on here right now that's by default. Wapaka has it set to show the moving averages. So this green line here is like the 50-day moving average.
Still cool to see though, and good to know that. I guess that's because Woof. Can you do it with all tokens or only tokens that are on like multi-chain?
No, all tokens. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, it's really cool. Like
Neon?
I can do it. Yeah. Neon.
I feel like that's been missing from like technical analysis for stuff that You couldn't look up on the actual
Daily
trading
chart
view?
for Neon as well. Here's what the daily chart looks like for Neon.
And can you sign into your Maxi one?
Oh no, you can't. Like I never had that even. See, it's the same lines here. It's just the moving averages. It's showing like by default it has those lines. Like Wapaka has that like set up for here. I mean, you can remove them. Bam.
Why
But
can't you
like by
sign into
default.
your one though if it's trading view?
Oh, because this is like an API for. This isn't like a. Like it doesn't have a login as far as I know. Like for my own account here for like a pro account, and those indicators wouldn't show up in the public list of indicators.
Okay.
You'd have to have like the private invite only scripts. But let's see, you could do like Bollinger Bands, and we could do
You can do all that on
like
Encore too though.
the RSI and all that stuff. Yeah, so you can still do like a lot. But yeah, looking at the Neon token price too, it's like the daily chart looks not bad. Looks like it's ready to kind of like find some support here. I bet you the weekly charts also. Yeah, I've been pumping and looking to like pull back and continue its uptrend, stay on the north side of the Bollinger Bands. But we'll see. It's definitely been a relatively stable trek here, though. If you look from like April 2023, April 2024, so over a year, and it's been like
Also been around longer than that. The chart just doesn't go back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this one is. Let's see, Wax Neon, Alcor V3. There's a DeFi box chart too. This one will go back further. So this one goes back to December 2022. And I think there's a. Oh, I guess the old. There's a taco swap, so you can look at the different dexes like individual charts too, which is cool. But I guess the Alcor ones got purged when Alcor went from Alcor to Alcor V2. Pretty sure.
It does make it pretty hard to like trace the history of stuff on Wax as far as like what was
Right.
Ether trading for in 2021. I don't fucking know. There's no way.
Yeah, I'd be like, tell me and send me a bill, and then I'll like contest it if I disagree, I guess. But I don't know. I doubt that that's ever gonna come up. That stuff was so. Those are just game assets and not worth anything as far as I was concerned.
Or as far as our planet is concerned, which is why they tanked the value.
Yeah. Yeah, right. As far as the devs were concerned too. I mean, that's what they were saying. So
it's crazy how different like the developers were from like the people of the voice of the community, I guess, because there's a very big disconnect in the way that like, you know, there's profitability calculators and all that stuff, and like all being promoted through the official community, but then the devs like didn't talk to that community, and then when they did, they were like, oh yeah, by the way, like we don't give a fuck what any of this stuff is worth, and we don't make any like, our moves are not based on trying to increase value, it's to make a game. So y'all are crazy for overhyping this, but that was too late. By the time they told us that, it had already crashed.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like, we don't see this as having any value. The box token is also like, I don't know. After DeFi box got like exploited on EOS side, I don't know how I feel about the box token. That and the fact that they haven't really developed anything on the Wax side. I'd be like, I don't know. I'm good on box.
I'm pretty like done with EOS, to be honest. I feel like EOS is Jover.
Yeah, they really. I feel like Wax does everything that EOS like wanted to do, and as well as EOS pitched that they would do it. So I'm pretty much more into Wax than EOS these days too. Even though I got involved with EOS during like the original, what was it, the IPO on Ethereum mainnet back in the day, where you would like you just sent Ethereum to a specific wallet, and then like a year later you got airdropped like EOS tokens on ETH as like an ERC20 token, and that did super fucking well. And then the mainnet launched, and you could migrate. I think I migrated some. I have like a it's called like a Genesis wallet address on the ETH. So I guess that would be similar to a .WAA wallet on Wax. I have that on EOS, but Yeah, it all went to shit. I mean, the fucking developers kind of like robbed that whole community blind. And the
Yeah,
treasury
I
had
feel like it's
raised
hard to
like
recover from that being like the launch of your
yeah,
blockchain.
yeah, they raised like $2 billion or something insane, and then like squandered it all. It's incredible. I mean, I guess they did build a completely different blockchain infrastructure with the EOSIO, so it's hard to say like they got nothing out of it, but
I mean, you wouldn't have Wax
definitely
without
not.
it for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's definitely not $2 billion worth of development work, but
I just
it
think
is
like Wax has a
wild.
better ecosystem for literally everything. Like, also like
Yeah,
there's problems with like RAM and shit on EOS where like people like hoarded RAM and like I don't know. EOS is just a mess. Like, I mean, Wax is also kind of a mess at times, but EOS is just like a worse version of Wax in my opinion.
right. I kind of agree with that. That's why I'd rather just spend time on Wax. Oh, look, these guys are still about $24. That's not bad. Blim
Blam
blam.
Blam. I feel like that's
20.
pretty. I feel like 25 to 35 is what you can expect for
That's about a
redeemables
decent.
that aren't the most desirable. The more desirable ones can go up to like 50, 60, but like
Yeah,
I don't know, is there like a Rick or Morty character? I feel like those are probably more expensive.
yeah. There's like a Rick Prime. Let's see. I'm just looking at the.
I think Rick,
Here it is. Rick
yeah,
Prime goes for 34.
okay, that's still in my range of not like the most desirable ones. I'd say like
Right.
the really like
Let's
ones
see.
that people really want usually go for like 50. And then it's usually a couple hundred for
How do we get to? Okay, here we go.
the
What the
KY said
fuck?
they turned
Okay.
RAM into a commodity they're boned for NFT.
Yeah,
EOS. I think
that was
didn't you
something that
say
happened on launch day. Like when they first launched EOS, it was like the RAM. Like you could immediately like set up your Genesis account and then you could like buy RAM, and then you could sell RAM as well. And before anything else was live on the EOS blockchain, the whole RAM market became like a clusterfuck of like. I mean, I remember the first thing I did was I bought some RAM and then I sold the RAM like 2 hours later for like 10x what I paid for it. Like it was wild.
definitely breaks
Definitely
the
like
whole like way that
broken
it
from the
works
fucking
though, as
start.
far as like, oh, you have feeless transactions, except not because people are hoarding all the fucking gas. Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. Why won't it load more guys? It's capping me out here.
I think we're good at Nerd. I think you've seen pretty much all of them, right?
Is there only 3 legendaries? It's Rick Prime, Blim Blam, and Nimbus?
I thought there's 4.
I thought so too.
You can check on
Or I
the
guess it's this and then the Grail.
Digital Funko website is a good way to check.
Let's see. Who's the Grail again? Oh,
Oh,
Rick and
there's
Two
only
Crows.
2
That's,
available.
Jesus Christ, it's $200.
That also seems about right.
There's also only 1,000 of these compared to 2,000, I think, of the other ones. Let's see.
See if I can find the drop
Yeah,
page.
1,900. And then I guess there's the Evil Morty dressed as, um, or what's his name? Freddy Funko dressed as Evil
Actually,
Morty.
the next one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X Funko Series 2.
Oh, damn! I might have to grab that.
You
I
should go to
have this whole
you
series.
should go to drop website.
Let's see.
See the physical. No, there's more. I think the expensive one is Space Beth. I don't think you saw Space Beth.
Oh, Ultra. Yeah, there it is. I guess it's a different rarity, is why. Because I was sorting by
Okay.
weird. Let me see. Ultra. Oh yeah, here. No, wait, that's a standard pack. Rarity filter.
Ultra.
Ultra.
That must be new.
That's cheap if she's redeemable.
Really? It's only $10.
Yeah,
Seems like a
is that
steal.
listing newest, price lowest? Let's see.
I'm guessing newest are just people undercutting each other though.
Yeah, but is it? It would say redeemable, right? Let's see. Release date.
It doesn't say
This
redeemable on
one,
it.
it doesn't say redeemable, but I guess do the other ones.
It
Let's
says
see.
if you collect a
Ultra.
Grail, Legendary, Ultra, or Royalty set, it qualifies you for. So Ultra should be redeemable.
let's see. So Nimbus, does he say he's redeemable? Also doesn't
It
say
just doesn't say anymore.
specifically.
Probably
Okay,
because
so
like
then
that isn't actually redeemable and the token they drop is redeemable.
yeah,
Use people.
interesting. So $10. That's actually
Base bet is not really my jam though.
no,
How many of
but
those are there though? 5,000.
5,000. That's why. So
That
there's
also I don't know.
more than
It's kind of cool
it's
though
like two
that
and a
they
half
have
times more.
3 rarities of redeem or 4 rarities of redeemables now.
Although yeah, $9 is like what you expect, like what I expect to see Funkos listed for, like when you see any Funko on the wall at a store.
It also just
So being
makes
able to
like your chance of hitting
see
something in packs much higher. And I feel like that's
that's
everybody
true.
wants a redeemable. So like even if you get the not rare one, like it's gonna feel better than getting no
Nothing, yeah.
redeemables if you open a couple packs.
That's true. And then if you just want the redeemables, I think there'll be a healthy amount of them on the secondary market from people who like rip the packs and
That's like the price of a pack, right? Isn't $10?
yeah.
There's a
Let's see.
15. What's the cheap pack?
It might be 15. Let's see. Packs lowest. They're usually close. No,
Yeah.
$10.
You
Yeah,
should go back. Can you go back to the Funko website?
that's not bad.
You look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones. They look pretty fucking sick. Like I was like, I haven't seen a Funko in a while. That's been. They got like the slime on them, and I think they're glow in the dark.
Dude, what?
Can you say learn more? What happens if you click on them?
That's cool.
Can you see the physicals?
I might need these. No, it's the same picture.
Scroll down. It should say view physical
Open
collectibles right
packs,
there.
yes.
No, you passed it. View physical
View
collectibles.
physical.
Oh, there's
Oh, it's like
multiple.
dude, what? That's cool. Oh, if you get both of these, you have the whole like the container with all 4 turtles and the ooze. That's dope. And we
Rocksteady
have a
looks
rock
pretty
steady.
sick. Those also look glow in the dark, I think, based on the colors.
Yeah, the colors are
what does
very
Freddy
like
look
black
like?
light.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Freddy, that's dope. It's like a he's got a little Guado. Damn, that's dope.
Those that light that you have is like an actual black light, right? That you put on in your bedroom in the living room.
The lights in here, yeah, they'll definitely like make this shit look crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be pretty sick in our like. How does that work? It's like a normal light bulb and also a black light. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it has like a whole like spectrum of different lights that you can tell it to go. It'll also do color temperatures and shit. It's nice.
How expensive are those light bulbs?
I think it was like around $10 per light bulb. So
That's
like
not bad at all for like
44, yeah.
how cool those are. I don't know. I'm not used to your system, so like the other day I had to ask it like 25 times. I was like, okay, Google. Oh, I shouldn't even say that. We were here in the room, but I was like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. Like, turn up the
Yeah.
lights. Turn up the lights. Turn up the lights. Like, like I don't know if there's like a percentage. Like,
Yeah.
how do you get it? How like if it's set for your movie or
turn
whatever?
them
How do you get it to like full?
Oh yeah. Okay, Google, turn the lights to 100%.
Okay, so it's percentage. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's probably on like
yeah,
20%. And I was like, I don't know. Every time I turned it to go up, is going up like 10%. But I was like, I also like
Yeah.
didn't know how bright it could get, so I was like, it just keeps getting brighter, and I just stopped when it got to where I wanted it.
Nice. Yeah, they get pretty bright too. I don't know, they're nice. Like it's very sunny right now, and it made a difference turning them on.
I like very bright. Like my room also has.
Yeah.
This is very.
I
Mine don't
also
dim though. Mine are just friggin' like industrial.
the Freddy Funko animation for this NFT is wild too.
Whoa, he's inside of like a robot.
Yeah. Damn,
I don't
that's
know that I
badass.
know what that is. Like I don't. I think I've maybe seen like.
Kang? Kang is like one of the biggest bad guys in TMNT, right?
Was he normally inside of a robot? Like that?
I'm
Like
not
what is
sure
that
what the robot
robot?
is. I don't know that robot, but that robot's badass.
I'm trying to remember. Like I watched the movies. There's like the two. There's one with the purple goo. I remember that one a lot growing up. The purple goo
Yeah.
TMNT. And then there's one. Was that the same one that had the like Vanilla Ice rap song in it?
Oh, I don't know.
It's
Was
like
it?
go ninja, go ninja, go ninja, go. I think
That one was pretty good.
we're getting kind of off the rails, but yeah, I think
This one's
I
dope
remember
too.
those being like a big deal in childhood, but I don't know that I ever really like religiously watched because there's a cartoon on when we were kids too, right? Like an animated
Yeah,
cartoon. I don't remember
yeah.
like I remember seeing
Teenage Mutant
episodes of that, but
Ninja
I don't ever
Turtles.
like I couldn't tell you any of the plot lines or like I also liked the I feel like the other thing that was big for Ninja Turtles for me more than the TV show is they had like the Simpsons style arcade game where you could go. It's like a left right beat 'em up, not
Oh
Street Fighter,
yeah,
but it's like Streets of Fury. I think was like that style series. But yeah, like there was in arcades you could put in a quarter and then you could play your life and like run around as the four ninjas. So I remember like that was the movies in that were kind of Ninja Turtles for me. I don't know that I was like the biggest fan of the TV show. I also feel like when we were younger, like there was no streaming. Like if you didn't know what time that shit was on and have the channel, like you just didn't see it.
yeah.
I don't know when or where Ninja Turtles was on, but I don't remember seeing it very often.
I saw it a few times, but yeah, also not like I never followed like the whole story arc like trajectory.
There's certain
But I
shows
did
that were
like it.
just always on. Like I
I
also never
really
watched
liked
The
it.
Simpsons in order, but The Simpsons was on like so much. Like it's been on for 30 years or whatever, but like they would also play reruns all the time. So I feel like there's certain shows that like, and also I think Channel 13 was like a free channel that everybody got, which is Fox in the greater Seattle area. So like it's easy to watch that show. I don't even know what channel Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was on.
Yeah, dude, these two are so cool. These
Yeah, that's
redeemables, the one
when I
like
saw like
those
when I
are
just
the
clicked on it, like I was trying to find the Rick and Morty thing, and I saw the like them showing it like blacklight lit. And I was like, that's super cool. I also like that there's
yeah
two of
like
them
this.
in one. Yeah, that.
That's so cool.
I also like that it's like a cracked tube. Like
Yeah,
that's a really cool
very
set.
fucking
That's one of the
very fucking
coolest. I'll
cool.
say this might be the coolest set I've seen on Funko so
Yeah,
far. So the other blacklight
this
ones
is.
are what like Star Trek, I think.
Oh, are they?
There were a couple. I think there were a couple blacklight in the Star Trek set, but I've honestly
There's
never really
definitely a
watched
couple in
Star Trek.
the previous like Rocksteady I got. Also was very blacklight like colored
I just
for
think
the
this one has
redeemable.
like a cool
This one's so cool. This is.
like
I
it
agree.
should
It's
be
by far the
glowing
coolest
glowing
fucking.
goo. I feel like goo, toxic goo would glow that color, and
Yeah,
like the broken thing,
yeah,
like the whole way this is set up is just very like
yeah. And then if you get
important.
both of them, you have like the full tube of the full set of Ninja Turtles in the goo that glows. Like this is one where I like want this both of
I
these
wonder what
redeemables. Like
rarity
this is
those are.
really fucking
Are those
cool.
just normal or are those both like
I think they're the legendaries because
I
let's
would
go forward again.
my guess is
Because
these
I
are gonna be
feel
more
like
expensive than Rick and Morty's.
yeah, same. Just because these are so fucking cool. Hard
I think
chase
it
on
says it at
this.
999.
Oh yeah, these are the Grail then. Yeah, see the sticker says 999,
They
and
all
then the
say
next one Rocksteady says
okay,
2000,
never mind. So yeah, those are gonna be those
2000,
might be really expensive.
and 2000 for the Freddy. Yeah, these are definitely the chase.
Damn. You gotta get both of them.
But yeah, that would be a. I don't know. Did you see the fucking animation too? The animation's great. Them just hanging in the goop.
I will say, I was like, they've been rumoring Rick and Morty Funko on wax for a long time, and I was kind of underwhelmed with this set. Like, I'll get the digitals, but none of the physicals are like, I don't know. If it's just like a plain Rick and a
Yeah,
plain Morty, I'd be way more into it than all the like weird characters. But I think it's the thing where like they've released a bunch of
yeah,
those
they've
sets
already
already, so they
done
have to
that.
pick the
Yeah,
unique. Even like, there's
I
certain
feel like
characters like Mr. Meesinks, I would have been fucking all over. I just
yeah,
like the characters they picked aren't like my favorite characters in the series. Same with like
that's true.
the
I'm
alien
used to be
guy.
fun.
The alien guy's like a pretty like niche character from one episode, whereas like Mr.
I
Poopy
like him
Butthole. I
though.
would have been more into Mr. Poopy Butthole than Blim
That's true
Blam.
too. Yeah. Although Blim Blam's a very strange alien to put in there. He's like from like one bit,
Yeah, but I don't know. He looks.
but
I do like. I think he's my favorite of the redeemables. If I were to buy one,
yeah.
I just like
And then
Funkos that look weird. Like any Funko that's not the normal shape of like Freddy with the head. Like I like the weird ones. That's also why I like those turtles because they're like spilled over sideways. I feel like getting something that's not so uniform is cool because most Funkos look really similar.
yeah. The I feel like the Rick Prime animation I really like. I really like the animation in this set in general. Where he like stops the bullets and then loads
Yeah,
them
he
into
has
his
like
gun.
bullet time and then he gravities them into his gun.
That's pretty cool.
I think Funko's definitely done a good job. I mean, we've talked about this like
Yeah,
a
they've
year
come
ago, but
a
like
long
you look at
way.
the first Ninja Turtle set and the animations compared to what they're doing now, like it's considerably better. So I appreciate they kind of improved their product and didn't just be like, oh, we can just keep doing the same quality over and over and get away with it.
Yeah. Oh wow, these coins are damn 7 wax is the cheapest listing. Fuck me.
I think that's
Let's
also
see.
why the set like it's kind of nostalgic because TMNT was the first ever set of Funko on wax. And I
Yeah,
remember being so excited, like we got friggin' Funko. I went
dude.
hard on that
Yeah,
set and like
me too. I still have the full royalty set. It's
I don't know if the
dope.
packs are still like the packs were like went crazy expensive. I think they went up 6 or 7x in price.
Damn. I still have my pack
I think I
unopened.
flipped a pack for like $60 and that paid for like all the other stuff I bought.
I think I flipped like 2 packs and I sold my redeemable token when it got airdropped, which covered the cost of everything I spent on this.
Me
So
too.
I
I
got a
sort of
whole
regret it
royalty.
though. I feel like I would have liked that redeemable.
Me too. I got the Rocksteady here, I'll show you the one that was like,
I got the Rocksteady too.
yeah, he was super like there. Oh no, the
Or the
Bebop.
Bebop,
That's what
yeah.
I got. Yeah,
I thought he looked the
looked
coolest too.
fucking
I liked his purple
yeah.
glasses and his bright colors.
No,
Those are still
still.
not super cheap for just the NFTs.
I guess this is the newest. Let's go price lowest. Yeah, cheapest is $4 for
That's
just the
Casey
NFT,
Jones.
but that's not even the one we were looking
5.
for. Yeah, five bones.
Honestly,
I wouldn't sell mine for 5. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, you can see this is the animation of the legendary compared to like them crawling around in the ooze, or like let's compare this to the current Rocksteady, or
yeah,
yeah, like
so
that's
much better. It's a cool
way
scene.
cooler. Oh, like and then he like fights off the turtle, and it's a seamless loop. It looks like this is way better. Like this is worth looking at. The other one's just kind of like an afterthought. Like, oh, you animated the model of the Funko doing a weird little idle animation.
Not even
I
a
still
great looking one at
love it.
that.
I still feel like I was so all about this, and like I said, I'm not looking to sell my my royalty set here. It's I am probably looking to collect Series 2 as well, though. This seems like one I'd be interested in scooping a few packs and like trying to rip some packs.
I'm
Like
afraid
I'm not
those
sure.
redeemables are going to be so expensive if they're both grails.
Yeah, like I'm not sure I would pay for them on the secondary market, but I would like to be in the running to like maybe rip one
Also, because you
from
need
a
2 of
pack.
them, it's going to be so hard to complete that. But you got both of
Yeah,
those. That's such a cool Funko. Like, I don't know.
yeah, it is.
DM them for making something so cool that makes me want to spend money that I don't have to spend on Funkos.
Yeah, that's definitely. No, it's fun to see. Oh, Twitchy Tides is up on here pretty high, huh? That's fun to see too. Like, look who's the top of the market these days.
Twitchy
Alien
Tides
World, no
is
surprise.
pretty popular as far as
Yeah, Twitchy Tides is like
because
the
they have a
4th
whole
biggest
like
thing
a
on
staking
Atomic Hub.
system and like tokens and stuff. I think honestly, I'm not
Mm.
a fan of. I mean, I've said pretty publicly
Yeah,
many times. I don't think games need a way to passively earn tokens, nor does like it benefit a giveaway game in any way, in my opinion. But clearly, doing well because of it. So, who am I to say that's wrong when that's what the people want? And you see
yeah,
the climbing the leaderboard of buys and sales doesn't lie. So they made something that has demand. Crittercraft isn't up there, so even though I prefer the way Crittercraft does it, like it's not as viable as a business.
yeah. That's true. Crittercraft, you'd have to scroll quite a ways to find. Hot Wheels is still up here, and I haven't seen them do a new thing in a long time.
I believe they announced. Oh no, that was Tops. Tops recently announced that they're moving to Polygon. Like Tops has been a
Okay.
nightmare because Tops did MLB, which is also still kind of higher than it should be. But
Yeah, MLB's still cooking.
that might be why, because Tops announced they made their own like sub chain or like private marketplace on the Avalanche blockchain, I believe, and that just failed. They like shut that down, and now they're like
Oh, yeah.
reopening on I think it's Polygon. You can maybe Google it if we want to spread.
Polygon's a better move in my opinion than Avalanche. Avalanche is a pretty fucking tricky layer too.
I think their whole thing just didn't work well though. Like, it's a poor user experience, so now they're going to be using like OpenSea, but you should type NFT, Tops NFTs. Tops has a lot of stuff.
Recently, let's see.
April 20th. I don't know how. Why does it not tell you the dates on those articles?
Right? This is fucking Bing is why.
Bing is such trash. Honestly, Google kind of sucks too now, though. Like, Google's gotten so much worse. Like, a lot of these search engines have just turned into like whoever pays gets their shit pushed to the top, and you can't find what you're actually looking for. There we go. Tops NFTs moving to OpenSea. I will say Google gave you a much better result than Bing. Exactly what we're
did find something that I actually wanted to know about, like in the very first result here. Tops
How long
is
was
moving.
this? 3 days ago?
3 days ago.
This is actually news. I don't know. I don't remember when I read this. I feel like I read this forever ago, but
let's see. OpenSea will be the new marketplace for Tops NFTs, self-custody. Yeah. OpenSea's great. I mean, OpenSea's just...
Honestly, they should have done that instead of trying to make their own like private Avalanche thing where like they had to lock. Like, there were many times where they're like, our marketplace just doesn't work. It'll be back up in like 48 hours. Like, I remember every time it didn't work, people on Wax were like, told you shouldn't have left Wax. All this shit sucks. So like, we heard about every time it was fucking up, but they kept fucking up. So now they're like,
it says it does not include Series 1 on Wax. Or at least in the comments they're saying that. But the first comment is, I haven't been following along for quite a while. Does this also include Tops cards that I bought on Wax a few years ago? First commenter says, does not include Series 1 on Wax, in Discord only for their Tops NFTs platform. Screenshot in a separate post below. And then edited for additional information, but they don't see the screenshot.
I thought they said they're building a... I thought they said they're building a bridge from Wax to... Is it AVAX Avalanche?
Yeah.
I thought they said they're building a bridge from Wax to Avalanche. So maybe you'll be able to go from Wax to Avalanche and Avalanche to Polygon. But I have not kept up with this. Like, I don't know. They said they were building a bridge from Wax to Avalanche like 2 or 3 years ago. Whether or not they ever did that is beyond me.
So it says the transfer portal should be live before the end of September. Just waiting to accumulate.
I think that's from Avalanche to Polygon, though.
It says they're also offering 6 months of free migration. So apparently they'll cover the cost of moving your assets.
But again, I don't think that's from Wax. Can you click the actual announcement? Because I think it's on Polygon specifically. You zoom in.
Tops community, we're thrilled to share an important update regarding our upcoming migration. Our priority is to provide you with direct access to large community of collectors and an array of expanded features to enhance your collection experience. What to expect?
That's
decentralized marketplace. Yeah, where is it saying that?
Transition to Polygon.
Yeah, here, transition to Polygon. Yeah, okay. As part of the migrations, all NFT transferred to OpenSea will be minted on Polygon. Okay, all transfers will be free of charge for the first 6 months. Specifically, Tops will cover associated gas fees. Polygon Labs is
about what Polygon is.
Blah, 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 yeah.
I would like you to look at the other. They posted a different. It's like 93% of Tops NFTs. I'm guessing that 7% is what they dropped on Wax. Those mother truckers.
It says right here 93%. Yeah. So eligible sets include MLB, Bundazzle. I don't know what the fuck that one is. Garbage Pail Kids. Oh, Bundesliga. Okay, that's a German word. I was trying to read it in English. Bundesliga is a soccer.
It's funny that I knew that and you don't. I don't know German at all.
Yeah, Bundesliga is a soccer organization, so it's a soccer thing, I guess, that they did. Garbage Pail Kids, Tops, and Bazooka Joe NFTs. Sets not eligible include Scott Pilgrim Premier League, UEFA, and Godzilla. Godzilla is on Wax, right?
But also all MLB. All MLB is Wax. And Garbage Pail Kids was also Wax.
All MLB. And Garbage Pail Kids is Wax. So Says we'll be sharing additional information on timing in the coming weeks. Our team is working hard to ensure seamless transition. We appreciate your patience and support. Okay, I mean, we'll find out more, I guess. This is relatively topical.
Can you scroll down? Somebody said they included another screenshot from Discord about Wax stuff. It says screenshot.
There's a screenshot here, but it said that it was no longer available.
Oh.
I tried checking that one out.
I mean, like, theoretically, Wax has built a bridge to Polygon. So, like...
Yeah, there is an existing bridge.
If they actually reached out to the Wax team, this could be done. The question is... I don't know. I think the Wax team fell out with the Tops team years ago with this, but I don't know that they had a... I don't know that was a good separation.
Also, even if Tops doesn't do it themselves, I feel like that's a good thing for the Wax team to then do. Like, why wouldn't Wax just bridge the Tops NFTs to Polygon so that S1 is available on both chains, and they can demonstrate their NFT bridge to a functional project use case? But
I mean,
we'll see.
Sure, you have to get the rights because they don't own the rights, so you can't just start taking royalties for MLB shit on another blockchain.
That's true.
But
I don't know.
I
hope they do. It does say something promising here, which says, all MLB, and then Garbage Pail Kids, those are definitely on Wax. And 93% of everything being transferable could include those.
It also says all MLB, which is your S. Yeah. Can you go back down to the guys talking about Wax? How long ago was this post? A couple days ago, right?
Yeah, very recently.
You signed into Reddit, can you reply, be like, hey, that didn't work? This is 3 days ago. They'll probably... There's only 495 users in that Reddit.
Oh, I am logged in. Yeah.
Confirmed only items from AVAX, but there's hope they'll eventually allow Wax to migrate if there's enough momentum. It was confirmed in their Discord.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe we should just join the Discord and look. I'm sure they'll talk in there. But
right. Let's see. Reply. I'll be like, hey, that link is broken. Got no one.
Maybe we'll have an update by next week. Yeah, I don't know. That's definitely news. And while Tops kind of did Wax dirty, it was still a huge thing. Wax would not be where it is today without garbage. All of the OGs on Wax came because of Garbage Pail Kids, and then we're kind of in the era of MLB. MLB, I remember when MLB got added, it was hugely legitimized Wax. It was I don't know. I always talked about
it's a huge deal. It's still a top 15 collection right now. Look at this. It's right here.
I talked about back then. I was I don't know how right I was. I was baseball cards are one of the best buys on Wax because as much as we love the indie collectibles and all the shit that was on our planet, people have been buying and selling baseball cards for I don't know, fucking 100 years. I don't know exactly how long it's been, but the stuff, how much is a pack worth? What is go to the top? No, you go back. I guess yeah, it was the top sale. Just had the template.
Let's see, name filter. I want to see those packs. You were buying the premium packs.
Yeah.
We price lowest.
$180.
$180 fucking dollars. 5,000 Wax.
And those were on sale for maybe $30, $15, $30.
Yeah, so 20 or 30. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I was not wrong there. I should have taken my own advice. I remember those aged fucking fine wine. I had 10 of them.
You had so many of those. You were giving those out too to people. Just
I gave them to. I gave some to Mark and I gave some to Lance because they couldn't get the drop. And I was I don't think these will ever go down in price, and I was right. But yeah, I used those to buy into drops, which then lost me money for the day. I sold those to buy into Our Planet drops. I sold those to buy Green Rabbit and all the hype stuff. I would have just held that. I'd be doing so much better today.
Looks like they came down a little bit here. No, not even 3,000 Wax. The cheapest they ever were in Wax terms was a little under 1,000. You can get them for 700 Wax if you got lucky.
There's no way I was paying I thought I bought those for $30. I don't think I was paying that much for them. Is that the all-time
hundreds of dollars? Yeah. All time. It's showing
I swear they weren't.
They're $250 back in the day.
I don't think I was giving away hundreds of dollars of packs though.
Maybe you were just balling hard. Could be. That was Our Planet days. You make $1,000 a day, so that you can make 4 of these packs in a day. When it's
Is that
monopoly
based on the
money like
current
that,
wax price? I guess the current wax price is lower than it was back then, so that wouldn't make sense either.
I think it's based on the then wax price because yeah, it's saying like 800 wax is $390, but today it's like 5,000 wax is $180. So it's definitely
I
factoring in the
swear I was
value
not
of it.
paying that much for them, but maybe I was.
You could find out, I guess. All right, but yeah, either way, definitely a great hold in terms of wax too. I mean, you know, you could have bought this for 1,000 wax and gone up 5x what you bought it in wax for.
I don't even know what wallet I was doing that on. That was so long ago. That's probably my web wallet.
I also feel like if this becomes transferable over to Polygon and trades on like OpenSea eventually, like this could still be worth hundreds of dollars in the future, like 10 years from now or whatever, if that shit's still around.
That's what I was saying
right?
too.
Like,
Is like
yeah,
half
like
the collections that are on wax from 3 years ago are not. Like honestly, it's kind of a profit in that sense. Where it's like this is probably like the best thing you could buy in wax because baseball's never going away. The MLB is
yeah.
not going to fucking end, but like all this other
And Top
stuff
is an
is crypto
established
hype.
collectible for this shit, so it's like, yeah, you have that built in. Also, look at this: 24,000 packs that they dropped. 20,000 of them are burned. Only 4,000 of these total left. 3,790.
Oh, holy shit! I was
Damn.
paying that much for them. It was $30 for the standard packs. My price was
Oh,
actually
okay.
like I was pretty. I was paying $260 for the fucking giving away $300 packs to friends. Man, I fucking.
Dude, we're balling. I'm telling you, dude. That was
If I
our
would have just
planet
turned that
time.
into real money, holy shit, I'm dumb for
It just
all the
never
shit I was
felt like
buying on
real money.
wax.
That's the big like. I think that's the big lesson to take away if you were around that day, or if you've never experienced like an insane, bull market in NFTs. Take the lesson from that. Like when you are making that money, try to view it in terms of actual money. Would you spend $400 as a gift to somebody? If you wouldn't, then don't. Even if you just made 10,000.
Well, too late for that.
No, I mean I did the same shit. I was giving shit out like left and right, or just squandering it on stuff. Like I remember I bought my like Coin Pirates thing was probably like $700 or something in like actual dollar terms.
I didn't.
Which
I left
today
the
is probably
Discord. I don't
worth
know if they
nothing.
ever even like launched their other game that they're supposed to be launching.
I don't think it's worth anything. Let's see. Coin Pirates. I'm pretty sure I have mine listed too. I have like a captain's ship at level 10.
I definitely should have
Which
held my. I should have held my top specs.
all listings. No, I guess I can't filter by captain. Captain 1.
November 2021, wax P was above 90 cents.
I guess.
Yeah, I also
Here.
should have sold more wax back then. Like I didn't really unstake most of my wax. I was kind of just like, yeah, I'll just ride this out.
Yeah.
Retrospect, that shit never even. I don't even know if it's gone back to 20 cents. Like, been pretty bad.
Yeah. We'll see. I guess let's see. If we look at wax right now. How's it looking? Wax P. Ooh. Red. Lot of red in this chart. Yeah, this is back 20, 30 cents. I feel like we got in around here, experienced this whole pump, and then rode it up and down mostly. I mean, honestly, I did really well in wax, but I could have done way, way better if I had been more.
I still have like
prejudiced.
80,000 wax, hoping that it'll one day recover. It's not
Yeah,
looking like a smart decision.
I don't have that much, but I also still have a decent amount of wax. I
How
also
much?
like yield farming on wax is fun. Trading like I love like I made that FTW coin. That's been fun. Like I can't really do that kind of shit. Like I mean I've done it on base and stuff, but like it's way more difficult to create like an ecosystem where there is an established economy. Like here there really isn't. So by simply creating a pool, pairing it with like wax, LS wax, USDT, and Woof, I can generate like a pretty decent amount of like arbitrage opportunities and by extension volume. And that's pretty fun. But yeah, let's see. Wax looks pretty meh.
Maybe Ags
right
also is
now.
asking, hey fellas, can I get your takes on the Woofy chart technical analysis as of today's drop? I feel like,
Yeah,
I mean, without even looking at it, I feel like Woof was not like to a point where it didn't make any sense following the rest of the market. Like it was staying steady or going up while everything else was going down. I feel like we're just kind of starting to see it like catch up to reality is what I would call it. Because like the rest, like ETH has been kind of choppy and Bitcoin's kind of been like trending down a little bit more recently. So I feel like
Yeah, let's look at or Bitcoin and get a first sense of the general crypto market, and then we
Yeah,
can
I just
take a
feel like
look.
when the
I
sentiment
agree with
gets more
that.
bearish, people get out of alts. They get out of alts
Yeah.
harder than they get out of like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that wasn't happening for WUF, which honestly to me made no sense. It's like, why is this still going up when everything else is going down? So that would be like my uneducated opinion. Max can give you a actual technical analysis opinion, but I feel like we're just starting to catch up to reality a bit, is what I would call it.
Yeah, I think so too. It's like profit taking events. Wolf had been chilling at all time high prices for a long time, especially like Lewis is saying, while the rest of the market was kind of like pulling back. And so I think it's just people taking profit. Um, like like Lewis is saying, pulling back into Bitcoin or ETH or more hard assets or into cash. But let's see what's the rest of the market doing, right? So looking at Bitcoin, like we do every week here on the weekly chart. Last week when we were checking it, we saw that Bitcoin is closing the week in a doji, which is like like you can see here both of these weeks now. So this past week also another doji, but even more doge of a doji. A doji candle is one that has a very thin body like this, and then relatively equal wicks in both directions, and it signifies indecision. So it's not a strong signal for bullish or bearish case, but rather a signal of like we need to basically break out of the doji range. The doji range is the extent of the wicks. So you can see the current week that we're in here, we've been, kind of testing the limit, the top limit of that, but we haven't broken beyond it. If we look closely, we're not making higher highs. We maybe retested the same high, but we're not making a higher high yet. So we're still in the same range of being undecided. What we need to do is break out the top of this range to move higher and, kind of confirm that we are forming, a bounce here. Or we need to push down below it and confirm we're falling. But until either of those events happens, this is just ranging, kind of like choppiness. And looking at that and so look, here we have what we've been looking at the last few weeks. You can see we've been, kind of like trying to find support, but getting a little bit more volatile as it becomes more uncertain if we are going to bounce here or not, which you can see materializing in, much larger candles. Larger candles basically mean more price volatility happening in a shorter amount of time. So, here we've been kind of moving flat, but with these big candles, that's generally like happening when people are uncertain, when there's a like anticipation for a move to come. But right now we don't have confirmation or really indication of what direction is that move going to move in. Looking a little closer, so I guess here to kind of continue on that point on the weekly, what we're basically looking for is a breakout of the last doji range, which is also pretty close to our band here, our strength band, where we're looking to basically, close a week above that to stay bullish. So basically, if we can like push out, we have 4 days left this week. The week ends on Sunday. So if we can push out of this week range and close above where the candle's wick was here, that's a bullish like indication, maybe a bit of our first indication that we are, forming a little bit of a bottom and pushing up again. But we can't say any of that yet because we don't really see that yet. Also, you can kind of still see the sense of like the peaks have been making lower highs and the valleys have been making lower lows. So you can see now, especially with this doji, this is a really long wick, but you can see our bodies, like the wick definitely made a lower low, but the bodies of these candles didn't. Like, so this was a lot like a volatility lower low. So we definitely pushed the lower low here, but it is, starting to form a base higher up here. So this is again helping to inform that indecision narrative where it's like, well, it looks like it's maybe making a little bit of a higher high or higher low here, despite, I don't know, this wick is definitely a crazy lower low. So let's look a little closer, especially at these last 3 weeks of price activity, and then kind of keep also in mind this, this whole chunk here. But going to the daily chart now, you can see this is what those last kind of 3 weeks look like. So that like very quick drop with the long like wicks in both directions is basically, starting around here where, that'll be the top of the body. Then this is all the wick. And then when the week closed, it closed right around here, making the body very thin, but giving us a candle with a huge wick kind of in moving in those directions. That's kind of like how that, I think it's close somewhere here. Let's see, Sunday. Yeah, so here's Sunday. So it'd be like this would be the open of that weekly wick, and then the following Sunday here. Well, this would be the close. So you can see we're basically at the bottom of this candle would be the open, and at the bottom of this candle would be the close, and that's why we have a weekly chart that only has, or a weekly candle, I should say, that only has a body that's about this thick. And so from there, this down part is all the downward wick, and this upward movement here was all the upward wick. So that's what that, actually looks like looking closer here at the daily chart. Now, while the weekly chart was still looking like, okay, undecided, and we're trying to, retest, but we're still ranging. We haven't pushed out of this yet. It's not looking very bullish yet. It's still looking very undecided. On the daily chart, we can also see that, similar deal where we are pushing, but not pushing to the same high as before. You see this wick pushed higher, and then these last wicks here. So this wick was part of 2 weeks ago. These wicks are part of last week. This would be the same high, and so you can see, yeah, even on the daily chart, we're definitely retesting that high, and not yet breaking through. So you can see these wicks are basically perfectly in line with each other. And where is all that resistance accumulated? Right at the strength band. So we're like expecting to find some resistance there based on the daily chart. And when will that resistance kick in? Well, that's what we're looking at the SRSI for. So the SRSI is showing us like the strength of our move. As we move up above the blue area, you can consider the strength or the move to become overbought. As we move to the bottom here, we can expect it to be oversold. So like looking back here, as we've sold off, this was very oversold and looking for a reversal. Now, as we've been pulling up over the last, 2 weeks now, 2.5 weeks from this big sell-off on the daily chart, we've basically pulled back to the bands here right now. The last couple, like the last 24-hour period did kind of push above it, and now it's up to this 24-hour period to hold above this daily level and not fall back below it as a deviation. Most likely the daily wants to pull back below this, especially because it's becoming overbought. And looking at the weekly chart, we are still below weekly strength band support as well, and we're still looking very undecided in the way the markets are closing. With all of that in mind, though, this isn't a bearish close either. It is undecided. So we're really kind of stuck at the moment in this. If we go to the weekly, you can kind of see it better in this like range where we're like basically looking to break. I guess if we go here for the last few weeks, we've definitely been kind of like in this range here. And we're looking to either break up above it or get rejected and then retest the bottom of the range again. So even if we get rejected at the strength band, it doesn't mean we're moving bearish immediately. It still would just be ranging and continuing to be undecided. It can test the bottom of the range, bounce up again, and then break out on the next test of the band here. But that might be a little bit more likely considering that we're already on the overbought side. So as we, potentially fall back into the range and test the bottom of this range again with Bitcoin price on the daily chart. So maybe over the next couple days, we would then cool off the SRSI and then, try again and hopefully break through. Like I said, right now we have broken through if we zoom in, but we're trying to close a full day here now above this band. So let's see what happens. Now, with that in mind, let's look also at, I guess, quickly at the SPY. The SPY is the stock market. And so over the last days here, we were getting kind of like a reversal, especially if we look on the weekly chart, in like stock market sentiment, where we've been just like on a fucking tear, cruising up here. And even when we did get a bear signal recently, we never flipped our bands to red, so this was an ignorable kind of fake out. But you can see, very clean bouncing on the band, and then very recently, over the last 3 weeks, we were getting that bit of a sell-off and more recession fears, and like the general narrative in the news was this was all happening during the what was it called, the carry trading fiasco, if you will, with like Japanese currency. So that was like a big thing where the Japanese bank was like, hey, we're going to raise rates, and then everybody who was carry trading by borrowing Japanese currencies and then using them as dollars to trade in Western markets was having to close close their loans or starting to pay way more interest, which caused a huge cascading sell-off across stock and equity markets, which made it seem really dramatic. But like here you can see on the weekly chart, it didn't even flip to red. Like this is still very much strong. We found a lot of support, bounced back really fucking aggressively. And you can see, especially on the weekly charts, SRSI, we've only just started to move back up in that trend. So this is looking more bullish, like ready to break further up and make more higher highs. Going at the daily chart as well, we got a very clear, yeah, we were selling off. Yeah, we got rejected here, and we did a kind of like that cascading fall over a few days. But here you can see very clean like recovery from that. We are also overbought now, so we want to pull back, and you can see we want to pull back right before we've actually made higher highs. So this is still, similarly, if we want to see a breakout of the last high to kind of get very bullish again, but before that happens, it's probably going to pull back, retest the daily bands here, and cool off the SRSI. So as that happens in the stock markets, you'll probably see a similar like price action in the crypto markets. And if we do get that pullback and cool off in the equity markets, and that translates to a cool off and pullback in the crypto markets, then that cool off is happening right at the daily resistance and would continue our sentiment bearish here, at least for the next week or so. But like I said, it's undecided, so we're gonna have to see how the week closes and keep an eye on this. Let's jump over to Wax. Looking at Wax on the weekly chart, Wax had looked kind of like it was gonna come back a bit here. We got our flip, way back in 2023. We were finding some support around 3.5 cents as the bottom of the bear market kind of target. And we had set that target a long time ago, but we did hit it, and we retested it a few times. So we hit it relatively quick here, like right around, 4 cents? And then we, were ranging in this 100% range from about 3.5 cents to like 12 cents. And we've been ranging here for 2 years. And we've only very recently fallen now below the bottom of this range. And we haven't established really kind of like a new base of we're gonna make a new range yet. So far, this could still just be a deviation where we're pulling below it, and then we're gonna pull back up and stay within the range. This could just be like the kind of trade volatility that shakes out long positions, people holding Wax. I guess the paper hands is kind of like the meme culture way of putting this is traders in the short term pushing the price so far below what people consider the long-term floor, which you can see here. If we would consider the long-term floor for Wax about 3.5 cents, this recent price action has pushed us all the way down to 2.5 cents, which is a very big jump from 3.5, especially percentage-wise once you get to these numbers. So that activity is in a deviation. It's designed to shake the weak-handed holders, the people who would not sell at 3.5, but then would be like, okay, fuck it, at 2.5, I'm cutting losses and running. That's the type of mentality that these moves go after, these deviations. And so it's possible we get a little volatile drop like that, which then very quickly reverses and puts back into our old range, which hopefully is what we're going to see. Right now, not yet. The old range floor would be around 3.5 cents. You can see we're at about 3.4 cents. We're coming back up a little bit, but you can see the most recent low on the daily chart was a lower low than the previous low, with the most recent high being a lower high than the previous high. So still very much clearly trending downwards. What we need to see is a higher high followed by a higher low to give us a confirmation that we are moving up again. Of course, on the weekly chart, that's going to take months and months to see, so we can get a clearer depiction and maybe an earlier entry point on the lower time frames. So here's the 1 day chart where now each of these candles represents only 24 hours instead of a full 7-day period. And you can see on the daily chart, we had started to hopefully find a little bit of support here right around, 3.5 cents, right around the base of our bear market target. And you can see that, we wanted to bounce and move up, but we got an aggressive sell off here to push to lower low. This is kind of that deviation I was talking about. And the way a deviation would then work is like recover aggressively, which it did, basically right to our resistance, which used to be support where we were bouncing right here on this line, right? So you can see we came right back up to that line. And then since then have kind of like been hugging the strength band north side of it, so on the bullish side of it, but still, on the red on the way down. And we're currently retesting again. So similarly, now I would say we're looking at a range below the floor here at 3.5 being the top of our current range, and then the bottom of that range potentially being the bottom of this wick, so 2.5. So it's not unreasonable to think we could zigzag around in this kind of range until we test that top of the range and break through and finally push back into our old range of 3.5 to 10 cents, where we can then get a much more aggressive pump. But for now, Wax is looking also still bearish, still moving down. It's definitely not like at a point in this trajectory where it's like, oh, I'm gonna sell and try to buy back lower. It's more at a point where I might be interested in setting some orders to buy some more. Because obviously my bear market target for Wax was 3.5 cents. So I have been buying, from 4 to 3.5. So I have, entered Wax. I'm maybe a little bit in the red from my recent entries, but I'm also, interested in if we drop back down to like the 2.5 cents, maybe I'll try to pick up a little bit more. I'm still of the opinion that there's a lot going on Wax that I want to participate in, and so I'm still like not looking to like exit my Wax positions, even if there is potentially other opportunities to pursue. I mean, I pursue them simultaneously. So with all of that in mind, let's see what kind of opportunities can we pursue on Wax.
What
based on
just
what we did
quick
last
question.
week.
What percentage do you usually do for like what range do you do for LSW, LS Wax?
Oh, I do 2 separate ranges, one that's wider and one that's narrower. And then the narrow range has here, I'll just pull up my wallet and you can see how I have it set up.
If I want to just do one and I don't want to deal with both, what would you do?
I would go, I guess, slightly wider over being super narrow, because then you're less likely to fall out of range, and you are still going to earn the bulk, like basically the amount of rewards that you earn from your wallet or from the farm doesn't really get affected by making a tighter range. Like it's more based on how much liquidity of the total liquidity you're supplying. So even if you did make a tight range, it wouldn't like boost your farm rewards.
What do you?
But I'll
do
show
you
you.
like 10%? What number?
Oh no, that's way too wide. I would do
5%?
like 1 to 3% or something. Here, let's see. Connect wallet. I'll show you what my wide range is and my narrow range. Let's see.
I just got myself. I got 29,000 LSW and 29,000 LS Wax. Fine staked.
Yeah, there you
Large.
go.
I'm about to wreck your APR in this pool.
Yeah. Fuck. I think I have like 8,000 or something on each side of that one. Wallet error. What is the error? Hold on a second. Enable. Yes. Connect. There we go. Anchor can be a little finicky.
Although it looks like it's weird, LSW is worth a lot more than liquid stake Wax right now.
Let's see how mine played out. So
Like
if I
did 50% into each, and now I have 2,000 more LSW than LS Wax.
Oh damn. Nice. Did you buy it or did you mint it?
I minted the LS Wax and I bought the LSW. I got a better deal on
nice.
buying LSW, but I got a better deal on minting the LS Wax.
Here, this is my narrow pool. So 0.5% to 0.7% is the full range. So it's going from, yeah, let's see. And this gives me almost 3% of the total liquidity range with like 200 ish dollars, 220 maybe. And then the wide pool is this one. There's another $100 in this one, but this one goes 1.3% to 3.4% right now. So it's a little bit off balance. Yeah, 1.4 to 3. So it's about 4%. So like 2% on each side is kind of like what I was targeting.
I'm just going to copy what you did.
Oh, right. Well, then you're going to be asymmetrical. Like I'm $80 worth of Ellis wax and only $30 worth of
so I should try to be symmetrical.
Yeah, if you be symmetrical, then it'll ask for symmetrical liquidity
like 2%
pairs.
on each side?
Yeah, 2% on each side is more than enough.
I guess I should go more on the side of the one that's worth less, so I can do more then too. Like, because since I'm imbalanced right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking, that the LS wax rewards will outpace LSW rewards over time because it has more avenues to make revenue. And so I biased mine intentionally more to LS wax, since over time I expect this pool to balance more towards that anyway, so that it'll sell, like as LS wax gets more valuable than LSW over time, I expect the composition to shift more to 50-50. But that's just speculating. You don't have to follow that. But that would be like similar to if you were going to do LS wax and wax, you would want the pool to be mostly LS wax because it's going to appreciate relative to wax. But yeah, so these are my ranges for that pool, and I think that gives me in this pool, let's see, staked. Yeah, I guess 10,000. They have 4,500 on one side and 5,000 on the other. But 6% on top of the APR percentage from the liquid stake derivatives on top of the stake reward fees is pretty solid. And this Rook pool, I think I own a huge percent of that one. 32% of the entire pool share. Let's go. So SDM, 8%. Wax Booty, I used to be a lot bigger, but only 3% now.
Is there a way to get it like more finite?
Take that one. FTW Woof, 4%. Wax RC, I don't know what the fuck that is, but it pays 2,000% APR, so I'm in it. I'm in it with like 40 wax, I guess. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get wrecked though. I feel like wax RC is probably tanking in terms of wax with an APR that high. Let's see. Probably gonna get wrecked. Yeah, this isn't not a great drop here.
Fucking like the bars aren't accurate enough to get where I want them on Alcor. They just keep bouncing around.
Yeah, I hate that 60% sell off.
I'm gonna have to do 1.7%, 1.9% is where I land. Can't get them both at 1.7%.
It's weird also if you ever do it like right on one, for any token, it won't let you do that. It like has an issue with that. It has to be like a fractionally off of like a single unit. The Rook pool here at 3,000 wax in this one on the wax side. But this thing pays pretty well, 17 wax per day and 17 Rook, which is almost the same. This is like 30 something wax a day. Hopefully the pool doesn't rug pull on me. I'm definitely rolling the dice pretty hard on a lot of these pools. I guess the wax neon pool, the only one that's staking there is like the section of it that isn't my actual liquidity, which is my biggest position, the 0 to infinity one. But then I do some like test, like here's another one. This one I think is staking because this is just personal wax added in there. But yeah, I always like doing, anyway, the short answer to this is doing a range, like a tight range and a wide range when you have especially a huge liquidity position isn't a bad idea, because the tight range will capture the vast majority of the trade volume for the vast majority of the time. But during the high volatility moments, like I bet you we can see some volatility if we pull up the chart for that. you still want to catch some of that price action. So then that's when it's good to be in the wider range.
I'm just too lazy to manage 2 positions. I saw one.
Here we go.
I'm being 1.7% on each side. I don't really care if I end up on one side or the other too, as far as like you can just sell some of it.
That's the other thing about that pool is you can forget about it and straight up end up all the way on one side and then still do better than having just held wax or
And now I have
yeah, here you go. Look at this.
2,958 extra Ellis wax. So maybe I'll just hold the extra Ellis wax. Or do you think I should sell 50% and restake?
I don't know. Maybe just hold it for now. You can always use it to buy like some nonsense, right? Like that fucking Funko drop that's coming up.
This wallet's only for long holding.
Oh, then I would probably just sell 50%, add it to the pool, and like set it and forget it, so that you don't have to do anything else with it later. But yeah, look at this. So here's what I mean. Like this one candle here on the 4-hour chart. So within a single 4-hour period, the price of wax and Ellis wax moved 1%. So if you were in that first pool I was in, which was like 0.4 and 0.3 or something, I would have been out of range. I mean, for a short while, it would have dropped right back into my range. But my other pool caught this whole move without having to do much of anything. And then you can actually see exactly what I was saying. Ellis wax, like you can see, it is appreciating in terms of LSW. So it is slowly trending up. I expect this trend to continue, but you can also see like how very slowly this is. You know, it's like this is still 0.0007, so this is less than 0.01%. You know, from here to here. So we have plenty of room in our tight range to capture all of the trade volume here, while still having, you know, our wide range be around to do some of this volatility when there is, you know, fat finger moves or huge trades happening. But yeah, generally that's kind of like my play.
How often would you say like a 1.5% position needs to be updated? When should I check back in to make sure I'm not all the way on one side?
1.5, yeah, like 3 to 6 months. Like that should be super easy. Yeah, like that's very set and forget. But yeah, let's log into our wallet and see what we did last week.
I only have $5 left on my Ellis wax. I can live with that.
That sounds like
what percentage of the pool do you think I'm gonna have? Thank you for the follow, Wax Girl Watermelons. Rock Metal also had a question. Rock Metal says, Max, when you say things like tries to shake out, are you meaning the price action is human directed in those ways, or just an anthropic way of talking about what's going on?
When you're saying I feel like more anthropic in the sense of like it's not like an individual actor like let's push the price, as much as like the price movement generally will do a deviation in order to shake out, because it's like, oh yeah, the price isn't going to continue falling, or do another like dip, like when you see like these big pushes down, like these huge wicks, right? And that happens so quick and they recover so fast. Like that action tends to be like, yeah, there isn't a whole lot of buy pressure from here, and then there's like, you know, people who maybe will have gone long, you know, like here, but will like, you know, with if you for example, if you're trading long and you're doing it level to level, your next resistance is like here. So then you might have set your stop loss, you know, here a little bit below the resistance or the support, I mean, and then you get a sell like this which hits the support and sells through it, and then you'd get like this little shakeout move where it's like, okay, let's push it super hard, super fast. And here, watch, if we go like to the 5-minute chart, for example, right? If we get really close here, you should still see like those moves are still happening. 5 minutes is too close. But those moves are happening like in a matter of like 10, 20 minutes or something. And so that, yeah, when I say like shaking out, it's like, it's basically, yeah, here you can see these pushes. Yeah, even on the 15-minute chart, they're fucking wicks. You know, so it like wicks down this hard and then or here you can kind of see it very quickly. It's like took half an hour to get down here, and then it took 1 hour to get all the way back up. So this kind of like price action is like moves so quickly to basically push out and get people to close their long positions and sell even if they weren't going to sell, or shake out people like trading leverage, especially when you have leverage traders over on Binance. Binance offers futures trading for Wax. So there are, people using perpetual future contracts to trade these assets, and then those contracts get called into like their margin calls or get liquidated when certain price targets are hit, and those price targets don't have to stick around. And that's kind of what I mean. Is like you get a deviation that moves down and basically wicks so low that only bot traders or algorithmic fail safes are the ones filling that price action. So like during these types of flash sell-offs, the price drops so low that like real people are like, well, I'm going to hold and we'll see what happens. Or I'm not going to sell. Like I've decided not to sell. But stop loss orders and margins aren't able to make those decisions. They have a hard, at this point I have to sell, I hit my target. And so you get those really quick drops which push those types of orders to trigger. And then once all those orders have triggered and no real person is willing to sell at those prices anymore, the price recovers incredibly quickly. And so that's like a version of that here we're seeing. When you see these kind of like harsh wicks that recover so quickly, that's generally what's happening. And that's kind of what I mean by like trying to shake them out. It's like it's a like an algorithmic trend more than like an individual's decision. I'll be right back. I gotta say bye to Paul. He's about to leave to go to go do a show.
Wonder what I didn't check. I should have, what the APR on this position was before I entered it. I think I might have knocked it down. The LSW Ellis Wax pulls now down to a 4% APR. And it says I don't know how accurate this is.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Before you joined the pool, it was like 11% or 9% this morning.
Go look at the. You should go look at like who's holding the positions.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Analytics. LSW LS Wax.
See that second wallet there?
Lewis is the second biggest supplier.
That's such a, I fucking love. This is the first time I've really publicly flexed with this wallet, but just all these people got their fucking names.
That's
Lewis.
Great.
Lewis is chilling with fucking 60K wax staked in there.
Here's my two ranges. I'm pretty far down the list though. Between the two of mine, I have like 10K wax. This guy puts all of us to shame though. I think this is 221,000 Ellis Wax. Jesus Christ.
I don't know if that position's staked though.
I'm not sure either.
Let me look. I feel like based on those numbers,
that's an insane amount.
It says I have 0% of the reward share, which I don't think is correct. Like I shouldn't have 0%.
No, it should show up. Like here it is.
I feel like Alcor is definitely kind of buggy. Buggy.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna launch into our DeFi wallet here.
I've been meaning to do that for a minute.
Yeah, I think that's a great move to like, especially for like that's a wallet where you're just sitting on idle wax anyway. I think that's gonna outperform staking your wax.
Yeah, I was just staking it and voting like every other week, and voting was getting annoying because I'd forget and then wouldn't be earning the full percentage.
Yeah, and this way it's like you don't have to stay on top of any of that shit, and you're earning more than you would had you stayed on top of it anyway.
Yeah, my only fear is definitely some sort of
some kind of exploit.
Whatever.
Yeah, that would be devastating. But I'm also, most of my wax is in LSW pairs too. So if that happens, then that'll be the end of my wax.
$4, is that right?
That'll be the end of my wax journey.
I still left like at 60 and I have 20K staked still. So I was like, if something crazy happens, I still have a decent amount staked, but I took like 2/3 of
Yeah.
it and put it into this just to
I think you can also
diversify.
see, let's see if we do this. Analytics, LS Wax, LSW, LSW, LS Wax. You
But I
can
will say it
see,
feels good to have my name on the
yeah.
leaderboard. I like the
So
Lewis
this
wallet
is,
never flexes anywhere except there now.
so you're already at, that's not you, $1,000 PNL. $4.56. So the reason that it shows your profit and loss like that is
Because
because the
Wax is
second you
fluctuating in
created,
price.
exactly, because you made your pool and this is tracking in dollars and this pool is Wax. If Wax goes up, your dollar value goes up. It's nice to see that everyone's actually. Oh wait, no, this guy's right. Meow is the only person that has a negative.
Because I have 8% of the
I think
entire
that's.
pool.
I think this is Recourier, right? Right, Meow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
How
happy
did
to
he
be the
manage to
only
be the
person
only
that
one in the
lost.
red? Yeah. That's too funny. It'll be back in a second. But yeah, damn, that's cool to see. The Lewis wallet is cooking. Yield
Yeah, I
farming holds some pretty fat positions,
generally
but
don't do
not
anything with that wallet, but I don't know. I trust all three of these things to sign in and sign the contracts. Lewis is
same.
generally more of like a cold storage wallet, but seeing my name on the leaderboard
Yeah.
worth it.
This is also a good chunk of wax. Like, I mean, if you check this position, it says it makes 21 cents a day just from fees. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, and fees, and then I also get the
The fees, then
whatever.
the distribution from the actual staking, and the I don't know if you saw but like 2 days ago, somebody spent $1,000 wax to rent CPU from LS Wax. It was like an alien farm bot farm. So that all will get distributed next week into the
Love to
rewards, like
see
into
it.
the
Love
APR.
to see it.
Which is like that's totally what that's for, is like so that bot farmers can spend their wax and pump the wax back into the wax like staking community. So pretty dope. But yeah, let's see how we've done with our wallet too. All this wax staking talk. Let's see what we've been doing. So let's jump over to pools. We have a few positions. This is our DeFi one.ftw wallet that we've made. And last week, I think the only thing we did last week was we cut a portion of one of our pools to jump into Rook wax, right? Yeah, that was it. I think we split. So we had like initially 25, like 50 wax worth in each one of these pool, which makes it really easy to kind of see how they're doing, I think. But you can see like 50 wax in the wax neon pool. It's now 26 wax on the wax side, so we're looking at like 52 wax. 50 wax in the Rook LSW pool. We have 25.5 liquid stake wax, which is also like 26 wax. So again, 52. In the HCC, we've actually done really well. So I feel like if we look at HCC in terms of wax, it's probably gone up quite a bit since we jumped into that one. But that one looks like it's 62 wax now instead of 50. HCC. I think that was one of these pools that was paying like some kind of absurd APR, and we were like, you know what? One of our APRs is winding down. Let's like shift into something a little bit more crazy. So let's see how it's done. Let me click here and change this to wax and look at the chart. I'm pretty sure in terms of wax, HCC tokens probably gone up quite a bit. Oh, something's taking too long here. I think it's possible my Elcor is. Yeah, it is doing that thing where it like ties up all your CPU, where each like past wallet interaction. Does that ever happen to you? Where like when you use Elcor, it like starts like chugging the fuck out of all your like processes?
I haven't noticed it, but I also don't use Alcor as much as you do.
Let's see. I guess it's been very volatile, which definitely is good for LP because we're at full range. Look at this. It's jumped up from like 2 wax to 4, like doubled in price and then back down and then again and then down and then like a third of that. So it's been moving up and down quite a bit. And since the LP here is 1%, let's see, we can see, yeah, we've earned a decent amount of fees and then It looks like we have a decent chunk of waxing here now too. I was expecting the price to be a little bit more aggressive. Well, let's do this.
Random
First
King
thing we want to
said
do this
he went from 30% of HSC now down to 0.3%.
Damn. Yeah.
Mocha
And
says
you
is
did
an
like a
anchor
type.
walled on Windows. You got to kill those processes.
Yeah, it is on Windows. I have to kill them manually, otherwise it gets like it ties them up. It ties up my like CPU resource for
I
a
would,
long
I,
time.
I thought you said Alcor instead of Anchor, and yeah, Anchor is buggy as fuck and always has been for me.
It's also like it's not the Anchor app that's like tying it up. It's the Chrome browser like keeps an instance or something of it running. I don't know what the fuck it is, but each instance is taking about 13% of my CPU usage. And that's why like when I'm on Wax on Edge and I click something, it looks like it's taking forever to load. It's not because Wax on Edge is slow. It's because my CPU is like all tied up for some dumb reason. There we go. Now I'm back down to 16%. So now I bet if I click one of these things, like click, it'll pop up really quick. Well, maybe not as quick as I wanted it to. Well, quicker than last time though. Either way. So yeah, I fixed that already, cleared all that cash out. But let's take a look at what we're earning before we make any more decisions here. So I'm going to go to farms. I'm going to toggle the toggle for staked only, and let's see what we have left staking here. So we're getting 94% or 97 in our neon, still 214 in HCC. And there's 160. Like I'm cool. Like I'm so cool with this. Let's chill. We can chill in this one for sure. 97 right now seems to be our lowest performer, which isn't low, but maybe we can do better than that. But let's see. And then we have SDM Woof at 104 and Wax Booty at 121. Not bad. And then we entered the Rook pool last week. We saw how much the owner of the Rook token had put up their own liquidity. You can see total staked here. There's 900,000 liquid staked Wax put up against this at a 0 to infinity range. So if we go to analytics, you can see Rook. We can see Rook is being supplied $60,000 worth of it coming from the creator's wallet, and so they're really putting up, a full range counterpart of the liquidity to this in Wax. So if you're trying to sell it, there is Wax to sell it into, lots and lots of Wax. That kind of display of confidence, I really liked that, and the fact that the creator of the token is, building on Wax and active in the community, active enough to even pop into the chat when we were talking about him. So all of those things, I was like, yeah, let's roll the dice. This is worth someone building on Wax, putting up their own money, and let's participate because they're offering us what we want, and that is high APRs as being yield farmers here. So let's jump back over to farms and see. So this one is doing really well. This is what, like 150 something percent. So between Rook and HCC are being our top farms. The only ones that I guess we could reassess would be Wax, Booty, and Wax, which we still have 50 days left of runway. SDM and Woof, which is 104, and then of course Wax and Neon, which is a little bit under 100. Wax and Neon has a nice we understand the tokenomics of it pretty well, at least here on our stream, because it's very tied to Neon Space. There's not any inflation. There's really no drops or any other events coming up that will dilute the supply of Neon out there. And there's still a 53-day runway of this, so I think I'm cool chilling in the Neon pool. I think the SDM Wolf pool has a nice runway, but I want to check because there is also an SDM Wax pool. Is the SDM Wax pool, especially with Wax, when we see Wax and Woof, the price action lately has shown that Woof is starting to sell off in terms of Wax. So we can see, here on the chart, as Woof has been dropping kind of aggressively here. Maybe we want, because our stated goal, of course, is to make more Wax, right? Maybe we want to shift our exposure, and that might be informed even more by how much we can make APR in the other version of this pool. So let's take a look really quick. If we do SDM, and it is as I suspected, there's a better deal here. Look at this. We can make more by moving into this pool, and hedge our exposure to Woof back into Wax. We should do that. So I think this week that's what we will do. That and of course our usual compound action, I think. Or let's take a look at what we have in pools really quick. Let's start by claiming everything. So I'm going to go to on the pools tab where we are now. I'm going to claim all. And what I'm doing is just claiming all the trade fees from all the liquidity pools that we have open here. So let me do that by punching in my wallet password. And signed. And there we go. So that should get me all the trading fees from all these pools. And next I'm going to go to farms. And I'm going to say claim all on farms as well. Here we go. Farms. And then here, there's a claim all button at the top. Oh, okay. For a second, I thought we weren't staking one of these, but we are. Okay. So you can see we've also made 180,000 WOOF, an amount of HTT, and then 95 Rook and almost 2 liquid stake wax. So let's claim that too. Finally, we also have a pool going on Taco Swap. So Taco Swap. This is where we've been farming wax and WOOF, but this week we're starting to see WOOF fall, and I mean we are about to come up on our which one is this? The 100-day moving average, the red line here. Since I'm on the daily chart, if you drip this the drop down, MA stands for moving average, and then 100 is going to reference the units of time that you're currently looking at. So since I'm on the daily chart, this is now the 100-day moving average. But either way, we'll probably hopefully find some support here and bounce and move back up. But that's not guaranteed. And so let's take a look at how are we doing over in our LP on Taco as well. Because last time we checked, we had like close to 600 wax over here, I think. Maybe more even. We've been doing very well with this wallet. Oh, right, I gotta... No. Ugh, what? Anchor's trying to load now that I force quitted a bunch of times from my processes. Now it's all mad at me. It's like, wait, now I'm not going to work because you force quit on me. It's fine. There we go. We'll do this. Now if I click here and log in, that should, yep, that'll bring it up. See, I can force Anchor to do stuff. Okay. Let's take a look at our liquidity for this pool. Okay, so yeah, you can see we were at close to like a little bit over 300 or around 300 wax, so I think around 600 total. And now that we've been selling off all week, you can see we're actually down to 260 wax now. So now it's only like 500, what is that, 520 or so wax. So we've definitely lost a little bit of the wax by staying in this pool while we were seeing this price action. And I'm not sure that we're going to see it stop. In my personal wallets, I'm still pretty deep into these pools, but in this wallet, I think let's hedge a little bit and remove maybe like a portion of this liquidity. Let's try to take out like 200 wax worth and move that into the same pool that Lewis and I were talking about here, where into like one of the liquid stake derivatives. That way we can hedge our position into wax and remove our exposure from anything that isn't wax while still earning a respectable reward here from this. So I've just removed a little bit of the liquidity. I'm also going to come and claim the fees here, of course. We've been earning some trade fee or rewards here, 60,000 new WOOF and also a third of a Taco token. Let's grab all of that stuff. Okay, done and done. So far, we've basically, all we've done is harvested rewards from every one of our strategies, and we've reduced the liquidity in our pool from about 250 on the wax side to 150 on the wax side. So we've removed 200 cumulative bilateral liquidity and 100, I guess, of wax side liquidity and its counterpart in WOOF. So the next thing we have to do is turn that all into the tokens that we want to use for the next phase here, which is going to be liquidity farming liquid stake derivatives. So I'm going to sign in first over on Wax on Edge, and I'm going to use Wax on Edge to swap. I guess I'm not going to go first into Wax. I'm going to go straight into like LS Wax, or I don't know. I do want to kind of check if it's cheaper to mint or cheaper to buy. But since I'm going to be going from WOOF directly anyway, I think I am just going to buy LSW, because I believe it is still at a discount compared to what is this? Something failing on me. Let me guess. Yep. I'm back at 100%. Where is this? There it is, you little punk. So many CPU eating tasks. It's weird that you have to do that like manually in between making transactions. It's pretty annoying. I feel like Alcor, like this has been Anchor. This has been a thing with Anchor for a long time too. So I feel like they must be aware of it. But whatever. Okay, there we go. So first I'm going to swap this into LS Wax. Let's do LS Wax or LSW. And then I'm going to swap our Wax side into LS Wax. So this is going to give me 105 swapping. That's pretty much what I expected, around 100. I think the N5 comes from the fact that some of that WOOF was also from our rewards from the week. But now we'll do Wax into LS Wax. And
Hey, Quick says I've been moving some into the FTW/Wax farm.
Hey, yeah, I saw your wallet there. I always like keep track of who's like messing with it. It's fun to see. Also, the FTW wallet owns like 200 or 400 million WOOF worth of WOOFy liquidity, and I'm just using that, farming rewards of that to incentivize those pools further. So on Sunday, you should see those pools get renewed and probably get deeper rewards again. But we'll see. It's all I'm still playing with all that stuff in the background. Okay, I'm also going to move my Rook into LSW. I'm just going to swap everything that we have in the wallet that we earned from fees back into like liquid staked Wax, and then try to get as much of that liquid staked Wax into the LP. So we have HCC here. Let's see if this one's worth, 0.3. We'll do it. And then before I move on, let me make sure I clear some of these processes so that I don't lock up my CPU.
Random King is asking on Alcor ?
Yeah, on Alcor for. Hold on, what was the first part of that question? I guess I'm missing it already.
There is no first part of the question. It just says on Alcor ? I'm not sure what that's in reference to be honest.
On Alcor, I guess what I mentioned earlier that I didn't do was I wanted to check the like value of staking for stuff, and part of that would be on Alcor. So it'd be like if I was going to do, say, 100 Wax here into LS Wax, I would get 97.6. So to confirm, I would then go to Wax.
Yeah, Random King is asking for FTW/Wax. That is on Alcor.
Oh, on Alcor, yes.
And then
yes,
Rock
so
Metal is saying there's a FTW/WUF pool now too. I think that might also be Max, right?
Yeah, all these 3 pools are the ones that I'm going to continue to incentivize. Max. And you can see in 2 days the Neon pool will end getting the rewards. I didn't think it through to like give this rewards. I didn't want to make it seem like there was an affiliation, so I'm going to let this one expire and then focus on continuing these incentives. So these pools exist here, and I think on Taco Swap under Meal, I think it's the highest APR pool at the moment, or one of them. Like it showed up here earlier. FTWX, yeah. So there's one on Taco Swap if you prefer to supply liquidity there as well. But yeah, the majority of the liquidity for FTW is incentivized here. And then the way it works is, the protocol owns the vast majority of the liquidity is owned by I guess I can just show you really quick on the analytics. You can see it's like this, FTW. So the FTW Wax pool, for example, the vast majority of the pool, like there's only a few dollars total that aren't owned by actually FTW, the contract that makes the wallet or that makes the token. And the same goes for most of those liquidity pools. So if you go to like FTW and Woof, we can see that too. FTW wallet owns 75 million Woof paired with 30 million FTW. So it owns most of this liquidity, and then it also is earning the stake rewards. So while a farm like Rook LSW, it doesn't have the total million LS wax staked. The pool for FTW, this is all staked. So this 200% APR is paying to the full amount of liquidity. And so every week on Sunday, usually, what I'll do is I'll come in and, for example, if we look at the FTW wax pool again, there's already 12 wax and 127,000 FTW tokens from just the fees. I'll claim all of the fees from every LP, not just from this one, but every LP, and then all of the non-FTW side, so the wax side, the LSW side, and also FTW wallet owns. I guess here I can show you really quick since I'm fucking talking about it. FTW wallet owns more liquidity pools than are incentivized, like a lot more. So copy this. I'll show you what else is in that wallet that's earning fees. So here we go. This is the pools that FTW wallet owns. So you can see Wax FTW, it owns like the majority of it. FTW Woof, FTW USDT, Brawl, a different range of USDT that's out of range in case we start to dump, then it adds buy pressure. TLM has an infinite range pool. This is the Neon owned by the FTW wallet, which again, this Neon never gets sold either. So even when the pool ends, I'm not going to dump it. And then FTW Honey. So you see all these different pools exist to create a liquidity ecosystem, and they're all owned by FTW. Every week, all of the rewards from the fees for all of these pools are collected, and all of the non-FTW side of those rewards are sold into more FTW, and then that FTW is added to the farms for Wax, Woof, and just Wax and LS Wax. And then the Woof pool, it gets the rewards added from the like 400 million Woof farm where I'm just getting rewards over at Taco Swap. So I get like 300,000 or something a day. And then on Sundays, I claim all that. And of course, I claim all the rewards that I'm earning for being in these pools. And then I just recycle all that shit back into the pool. So basically, as long as you're seeing that, as long as in like FTW, as long as the other people supplying liquidity don't outpace the FTW wallet, the rewards for the FTW token pools will just keep going up and up and up. Because every week, all the rewards that are earned by the FTW wallet get re-put into the pool and added to with all the fees and stuff. I don't know. It's been a fun little experiment. We'll see how it plays out. But what I want to do now is finish making a new pool here. So I'm going to go into earn and pools for our wallet. And what I've just done is I've sourced some LS Wax and some LSW. And now I'm going to come here and I want to make sure that I'm going to the right pool because I want to get into the pool that Lewis is in, which is this one here where it's also paying rewards. And that's going to be the 0.3% pool. So a really easy way to get to that is just click add liquidity here. So now it's sent me to the 0.3% pool, LSW, LS Wax. First thing I'm going to do is click 5%. So this is going to move my range 5% on both sides of the spot price. And then I'm going to click the plus up here to kind of zoom in much closer. And you can see the vast majority of liquidity in this pool is already, a lot tighter than 5%. I also want to be a lot tighter than that. So similar to what Lewis was doing, I'm going to try and go for like a 1% range in both directions. So here I'm going to do 1.2%. Oh, look at that. Actually, let me do that on both sides. And now it should be relatively even amounts of wax. So yeah, you can see here 105 is going to ask for a counterpart of 100, which I have 102. This is perfect. I'm not going to fuck with this much more. So I'm going to go ahead and add that liquidity in this range. And now I'm basically supplying liquidity to Liquid Stake Wax and LS Wax, or I guess LSW and Liquid Stake Wax from Wax Fusion, and LS Wax comes from here. If you go to earn staking, this is where you can come to, stake regular wax and mint LSW.
Is it cheaper for you to buy as well?
Yeah, it was this time. So if I were to mint like 100, or here we go, if I was to mint 100 wax, I would get 97.07, while at the same time, let's go to LSW, this one. If we're going to do 100 in a swap.
I was surprised. Like I did 30,000, and 30,000 was cheaper to buy than the mint. I thought there would have been more
97
slippage, but
Yeah, 9761 is that one. So you can see 9707. I ended up with 0.6 more,
I
97.
probably knocked it to a little bit closer with the slippage that I made
Yeah.
from.
This jump right here, I did this manually with my own wallet, where I noticed that I literally saw this, and I took 10,000 or 5,000 wax, just regular wax, and I went to Alcor and I did 5,000 wax. I got whatever this amount was. So like, check it out. Copied this. I got this amount, and then I just went back to LS Wax and I sold it. And then I ended up getting, well, I guess right now it's the opposite direction, but I ended up getting like 5,060 wax or something. And then I straight up went back here again and I swapped 5,060 for more LSW. Or I mean, the other way around. I swapped the LSW back for wax, kept dumping this price, and then just kept coming back here and manually minting more. So sometimes there is like arbitrage you can do in that way. I've also like done that just with like small tokens. You can do that relatively easily, like like FTW. You could do like let's see, if we did 10 wax, you'd get 134,000 right now, and it would route you through wax, woof, whatever, right? And then if you swap the same thing back. Right now it's not good, but like earlier today I was doing that just back and forth with 10 wax. I ended up making like 1 wax just putting volume on this token. Also in the future I plan to do like reward distributions for people who trade the token, not just hold it. But oh yeah, I guess there's one last thing. If you are fucking around with that token, there you can also stake it over on Waxed Out Farms. Here. Leaderboards. Someone's staking 550 million. I'm catching up though. I have almost 40 million. I'm catching up with my personal wallet. But here, the farm info. This pool pays, you stake FTW and it pays 41,000 FTW per day to all the farming stakers, and it's going until 7/23/25. So this is like almost a little bit more than a year of runway for these rewards. And in the future, I'm probably add some other token rewards here. I'm thinking like Wax DAO tokens, because I have so fucking many of them. I might give some out through this.
Bigwig said he's third in the reward.
This one's you right here? Damn, 33 million. You're catching up to me. It's funny, I saw this guy who has 50 million. He's the person who bought 100 million of my token like on day 1. And I guess he's only staked 50 million, but he seems to be like just compounding whatever he's like pulling out of the pool. Look at this. He's just like stacking it. So he's at 50,721,000 now. He initially only had 50 million left in his wallet, so he keeps claiming the rewards, and he's made 700,000 FTW since staking that, which is kind of awesome considering that's 52 wax. Like, that's not bad. But
Bigwig says he thinks it's bullshitbles.
Maybe. I don't know. I can't. I honestly, I feel like I should have been a little bit less. I shouldn't have put 50% of the liquidity out there, because somebody else owning 10% of it is quite a bit. But at the same time, like, I don't know. It's not up to me. Once I released it, it's up to everyone else what they want to do with it. And you can see they bought it like here and spiked it up, and then it's taken a little while to like recover. Because again, like I buy FTW back with my yield farming wallets, farming yield every day. And I figured that once he got back to like the peak of here, he'd try to dump it, but he did not. So now it's like he could sell it for more than like double or something what he like put into it initially, and he just isn't. And I can't force people to sell, so we'll see. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Eventually, the price will be enticing enough, and he'll dump it, and I'll be able to buy a bigger share of my token supply back. But yeah, for now, that's that. All right, and then with our DeFi wallet, let's just check in on this before we get too off fucking topic here. Here's our pools going into next week. You can see we now have liquidity. The APR is down to 4% now, but That's honestly still great. Even 0.5% for a pool like this is going to be better than what we were doing before. So now basically what we've done this week is we've claimed our rewards and compounded them all into this new LSW LS Wax pool, and we've reduced our exposure by about 30% to the Wax Woof pair. So we still have our biggest pool is Wax Woof in this wallet by a pretty decent margin. So there's still about 300 wax worth in this pool, and we're still farming this. I'm still a fan of the Woof stuff. I'm excited to see it launch on Ton, and expanding that cross-chain utility I think is really cool. But I also, was informed a little bit by the selling off on the chart there of Woof in terms of wax. It has been a pretty red week on that chart here, which will load. There it is. Yeah, so we've been getting a little bit of a dump here. Obviously, I'm still exposed to the full range of the liquidity, so I'm, as we dump more, I'm going to be selling more of my wax and buying more Woof, which is not like a terrible place to be, and I'm okay with riding it, but I wasn't okay with riding it with the full amount that we had before what we did today. So that's why we cut some of our liquidity position out of this, and we've taken the exposure entirely off the table by selling the Woof and then creating a new liquidity pool, which is now the two different wax staking derivative assets paired against each other. This has effectively reduced our exposure to anything other than wax. So the amount of tokens that we've taken out of that pool, if we go back to pools here, is now over here. So we have about 100 on both sides. So let's say around 200 wax worth of liquidity in this pool, and that is now only exposed to wax. So if we do get the deviation in terms of wax, if we go back to like the weekly, if we do get these like small wicks being a deviation, we do finally we push back up in the coming week to our, we're basically knocking on the door of 3.5 cents, which is kind of like our long-term bear market floor and is going to be acting as our resistance here to flip back into support. If we do get that, obviously I want to be exposed to wax on the move back up, and doing a move like this keeps us exposed exclusively to wax. And at this point, I feel like this is kind of a major milestone move for this wallet as well, because we started with 100 wax, and now we have a very solid, very diversified yield farm that's producing really high APRs. You can see here, like 100, multiple farms with 100% or higher APR. We have a pretty decent exposure to meme coins and a wild pool over here. And we've hedged our risk exposure to non-wax assets into this pool, where we now have 200 or double our starting amount of wax, farming an exclusively wax exposed position. So I think that's really great. And moving forward, we should kind of, as long as we see the wax market maybe, on its recovery path or looking solid and nothing else screaming like insanely high yield and low risk at us, we should, I think, take this milestone as a way to basically try to maintain at least a 100 wax balance in this pool moving forward, because at that point there is no way for our wallet to ever fall below our principal amount, which is 100 wax, and we can still expose ourselves to a lot higher risk, higher reward positions, while now having basically, taken 100% profit and principal off the table into a pool like this. So really, really excited to see the progression of what we've done with this wallet. And moving into next week, we're going to watch, obviously the Wax Woof price to see if this is going to find support on the 100-day moving average line, this red line here on the daily chart. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that, especially when you can look at the trajectory of Wax moving up here and starting to kind of like form a base of support right here to bounce to the next high. So then you could kind of consider there is support existing here already from the last bounce. Let's see if it holds. And while we wait for that, we've reduced our exposure into this pool, while we're also still exposed into some pretty high reward, high yield pools on Wax that are also tokens that we were relatively familiar with and comfortable positioning ourselves into. And then I do see that I have forgotten to take one last step, and that was we wanted to adjust our exposure from woof to wax even more than we currently have by moving out of the woof wax pool. This SDM woof pool, I'm going to also, I guess I'm actually going to have to do a couple more steps here. Sorry for doing that in the midst of my like wrapping up summary. But as a last thing we want to do is we're going to remove all of the liquidity from the SDM woof pool. We're going to jump over to wax on edge and use the woof that we've just claimed. I'm going to just click this refresh button and I'm going to swap all that into wax. And then I'm just going to recreate the same pool again, but with SDM and wax instead of SDM and woof. And so simply swapping here as my step one of this move. Oh, my CPU is exceeding. No. Okay, so I want a quick CPU boost here. I'm going to go to
Be Wicked
wax.
saying the problem with those Ellis wax pools is they end after 7 days. Didn't Mike say
Yes.
he's potentially going to change that?
Yes, there's currently a proposal because the pool is like governed with like multi-sigs wallets and it's open source, and the Wax team has to like agree to change the way it works. But the proposal is to have the rewards for these pools each week, which it works really well for our show because we do this on Wednesdays and the pools reset on Wednesdays. But if we go to farms, you can see there's only 6 days left in this pool. Wednesdays, I think like 2 a.m. or something our time, maybe 1 a.m. our time. I forget when it is. This pool will expire, and you will need to come here and manually stake to the next pool. The proposal of what's happening now is instead of the rewards being harvested and distributed to creating new pools every week, that during the reward harvest time at the end of the week period here, the rewards will be used to top up the existing pool. And when you top up a pool, it resets the duration of the pool. So if you do that on like day 6 of a 7-day pool, then it'll just extend it to another 7 days, which is how it's how I manage my FTW farms. So like if you look at the FTW farms, they say they expire in 27 days, but after a week, they will reset to 30 days again. So that's the plan moving forward, is that it will change to not require user input. So you'll be able to stake to them once and like set it and forget it. But yes, you're right. And I think that's something you should stay on top of too, Lewis, is at least until it becomes automated on Wednesdays, you should try to be as early
Good
into
thing
the
we,
LSW pool.
Stream every Wednesday. I'll probably remember when we stream at least.
Yeah, exactly. I'm also doing it, so I can just let you know whenever I do it. I'll be like, hey, don't forget.
I am usually up.
But
fucking 2
yeah, exactly. I'm usually awake at
Maybe
those
I'll
times.
set a fucking like schedule thing on my phone.
Let's see. So here's the last thing we were going to do now is I wanted to come to earn, and I wanted to change. Remember, we were in SDM just now. SDM, we still have the SDM in our wallet, but you can see we want to migrate from woof to kill our woof exposure and swap it for wax exposure and to boost our APR. So we're going to jump over here. It's the 0.3% pool. I just always want to make sure that I know that before I create the liquidity. And then I'm just go infinite range, and we should have pretty close. What? Oh, right. I was out of what's that called? CPU. So I'll go to the CPU rental page here. I'll say power up. I'm gonna go with
Power up.
Go with my own wallet here. Log in. We have been doing a lot of transactions today. I only have 100 wax staked in DeFi, in our DeFi wallet, or like I think less even, because we started with very little wax. But yeah, so we've used a little bit too much of our existing here.
Cooking just a little too much.
Oh wait, do I not have any wax too? If I don't have liquid wax, this is gonna gets more tricky. I guess I'll just. Normally, if you have like a fractional amount of wax, I'll do like 0.1 wax or something like that. 0. Oh, I can't do it because I have nothing in the wallet. But here, I'll just do it this way. Copy this. I'll just sign into my other wallet and boost it from a different wallet. It's cheating, I know, but whatever. I don't want to have to deal with CPU stuff. Here we go. So I'm doing this from my ledger. It takes very little wax to do this kind of like boost. Like you'll end up with like hundreds of wax staked from boosting like 0.1 wax or whatever. Here we go. Okay, I want to boost, paste this account. Ugh, do I not have wax in this wallet either? Come on, Max. Where's all your wax? Ugh. Hold on, I gotta grab some wax. I'm too committed now. I've already sold the woofy side of the SDM pool, and now I'm not earning any yield at all. This can't happen. I gotta finish this. There we go. That should do it. Let me double check that I'm not screwing myself with CPU again. Of course I am. Man, Anchor Wallet needs. They just need to like purge whatever the hell is locking up my CPU here. That seems like a pretty strange thing. Let's see what we got here. Anchor with 5 activities and task. There. Okay. Ended. Sorry, I got to relaunch my Anchor because it was tying up all my resources. There we go. And then I feel like you always have to click the ledger support, disable it, and re-enable it. Otherwise, it won't work right. And there we go. Now it'll let me do this stuff. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any wax. Do not have anything? Here we go. Okay, I got some woof. Do a quick swap. Woof. Give me like. Ooh, yeah, look at this. Big wick on the 4-hour chart. That means woof is selling off in terms of wax. Anyway, let's give a quick demo of what I've been trying to do now that I scored some wax. Here's I want to boost my DeFi account. I'm going to use 1 wax, which I first have to refresh this. Paste my DeFi wallet name, 1 wax. Go. Boost it. 1 wax was overkill. I should have done like 0.10 wax or something. Yeah. So I just added 79 milliseconds of CPU usage time. So now I should be able to come back here, DeFi wallet, full range, boom, boom. Oh, right, I haven't even done my swap yet. So swap woof. We should get our transaction pushed through without an error this time because Wax Fusion has staked to me. Bam. There you go. And now I can toggle back over here. If I refresh, I'm pretty sure it's going to log me out, right? Because I'm logged into Alcor on a different wallet. Yes. So log out, log back in on my main wallet. This is a little bit more of a roundabout bullshit thing that happened because I ran out of CPU, but I guess it is kind of cool to see how easy it is. You can, or anyone can, boost anyone else's wallet as long as you know the name of the wallet and you have like a fraction of a wax to spare. You can use a tool like that. And then that 1 wax that I spent now gets paid out back to the LSW stakers, which that's pretty cool too. Let's see. Ugh, why won't you pull up? Anchor Wallet is being difficult for me. Yes. Okay, now it should. Oh my god. What are you doing, Anchor? That's weird. I definitely have to end task on a lot of these weird processes. Okay, I'm just going to go back to Anchor's homepage and log in from here. There we go. DeFi 1. There we go. Okay. Now, let's walk through this one more time. Earn tab farms. I've already gone through SDM and swapped my WOOF into Wax. Oh, and look at this. This is APR is going down because the value of WOOF is going down. But we want, at least we're now exposed to Wax instead of WOOF on that side of the pool. So we're going to go ahead and infinite range, set this again. 22.16, we have 22.41, that covers it. Sign. Success. Okay, now, quick recap. What we did this week was we pulled our liquidity rewards from all these pools. We reassessed if we want to stay in them. We decided we do want to stay in most of them, but we did cut 30% of the Wax WOOF pool that we had over on Taco Swap. Here, we've cut that down. So, like, look, it says 158. I wonder if this drops now. Just because, no, not much. Since this is full range, it's not so bad. But yeah, so since then, you see the Wax price, if we go a little closer too, even here on the 15 minutes, has been starting to sell off a little bit more in terms of Wax. The WOOF price has been selling off. Anyway, so we took that 30%, we put it into LSW, LS Wax, so that we're only Wax exposed for this portion of our liquidity. The rest of the pools we kind of kept the same, except for the SDM WOOF pool. We've swapped the WOOF side of that for Wax to lessen our WOOFy exposure and strengthen our Wax exposure, especially because our wallet's goal is to earn more Wax. And so we've done that by, shifting into the SDM Wax pool. Not only is that cutting away from the WOOFy exposure there, but also it was paying a higher APR in the farm. So with all that stuff done now, we have, moving into next week, these 6 farms on Alcor and 1 farm on Taco Swap, which is this WOOF Wax pool. And so we'll be earning, a pretty good amount of WOOF, but now we're also looking to get some, it looks like some LSW and some LSW and Rook for the next week's rewards. Also, we didn't really sell any HTT, and part of that is because we're only making a 7% APR in it, and it's just not worth the CPU to sell it. Although now that we rented the CPU, fuck it, yo. I mean, we already paid for it. It's only for 24 hours. So let's sell the rest of these tiny cap stuff. So we'll go, let's see. Yeah, see, it's like less than 1 Wax. But hey, we got the CPU. Normally, I wouldn't bother with something so small because it's going to tie up my CPU. But again, this wallet will only use it once a week anyway. And I just spent 1 Wax to buy a bunch of CPU for it. So let's swap our Waxes or our Taco as well. We got this Taco today. Oh man, Taco taking big old, massive dumps. I remember when Taco was
what's going on with Taco.
Taco used to be worth more than a Wax.
Yeah,
like
2, like 2 or 3.
Yeah, now it's less than 1 Wax.
How the mighty have fallen.
I still don't really understand the Taco sync other than like from the gaming side, and then that sync doesn't make enough sense to me. So yeah, I never really aped in. Here, none of this other stuff is worth a whole lot. We have Wax and LS Wax. I don't need to swap to Wax because it's already Wax exposed. It's actually better than holding Wax, I think. So I guess let's use the last of our CPU or do one more transaction. Just swap this Wax into LS Wax. And we'll just sit on the rest of this LS Wax moving into next week because it on its own also does pretty fucking well. If you are staying very much on top of your voting for your own staked Wax, you can expect close to an 8% APR on your stake rewards. If we look at what Wax Fusion is doing currently, 12.2. So you're kicking the shit out of what you can do in your own wallet. So pretty solid APR just for holding LS Wax at 12.21. And then this, I think, updates every Wednesday as well. So this is going to be, updated with like what people are spending in CPU rentals, and what protocol owned liquidity is earning and generating in fees for the rest of the protocol to distribute. So really cool, exciting stuff. With all that said, I think we should do a giveaway. It's been a minute, and thanks
Couple
for
hours.
everyone who's been paying attention. You could totally give away some FTW since I talked about it. And
Let's
I think 1 million FTW goes for
Let's do
more
Wolf
than Wolf
first, and then maybe our second giveaway. There's a bunch of people that have been joining for like
now. Oh, right.
hours. I want the people that are actually watching to get the FTW. We'll do like
Yeah.
a shorter second giveaway.
Yeah, let's see. If you do 1 million, I wonder how many Wolf that is. 1 million FTW. Damn, it's $2.55 right now. That is calculating 2.5 million Wolf. Damn. I guess with Wolf dumping a bit, it definitely helps out. And like I said, I set my liquidity up so it's mostly wax paired, and then if it starts to fall to a certain point, more USDT kicks in. Like I showed off on my screen share image earlier.
I've also said taco dump sounds like a pun. Taco dump sounds like a friggin' trip to Jack in the Box.
Yeah, big massive dumps. Get me those two for $1 tacos, dude. That's what you get when you pay that.
Those are literally, I mean, we've talked about it on stream, but those are literally like
It's
a
a
diuretic. Those things, like,
Yeah, it's a cleanse.
it makes me poop faster than like any other food you can possibly eat. Like, it's just like, it's like, what did they tell you to eat? Like prune juice or whatever?
Oh yeah.
Isn't prune supposed to be good for, isn't that what old people have for pooping?
I think so. Yeah, it's like a diuretic. Yeah, prunes, prune juice. Yeah, that definitely helps you poop.
What
Lots
is
of
milk of
fibers.
magnesia? Isn't that also like a thing, like a natural?
Yeah, that's another like diuretic. I think like it helps you be regular if you're constipated.
What is magnesia though?
That I'm not sure about.
Is that made from Magneto from X-Men? Is that like peas or something?
I don't think so, but it would be pretty cool. Whoa, I have a wax pin in this wallet.
I don't think so, but I also can't prove that it's not. So we're gonna just leave that up in the air.
Let's see. Oh, you can't see the. I like the wax. What's it? This one. I like the way this one shows like the token distribution better.
For her Slayer gotten first. Congrats, you're gonna get 1 million Wolf. Then we're gonna do another quick giveaway for those of you that are actually watching, because a bunch of people came in, joined, and then left.
Oh, I see.
It says we have 11 viewers and 28 people in the giveaway, so there's a little bit of
good cat. That's a good call. Yeah, so then someone who's actively watching can win some FTW, and of course, feel free to just dump it right away. You don't have to like hold it or do any of the liquidity stuff or stake it. Especially, it's a nonsense token, so you know you won't hurt my feelings. Is what I'm trying to say.
set my alarm for NFL Rivals, this stupid event. 2 hours, I'll refresh my opponent and still probably not win anything because it's a bunch of nonsense over there. There's like collusion going on between the top squads. If you match with an opponent who has like 300 or 400 points higher than you, you can direct message that opponent and be like, hey, can you drop the cards out of your lineup to make your power go down? And I don't think you can play them with their new one, but I think if they drop their power by a certain amount, then when you try to play them, it refreshes. But like, pretty much all of the top players and rivals are in 2 to 3 squads. So like, they're all in Discords together and they all just message each other and keep refreshing opponents until they find the weakest ones. And it's kind of bullshit. I'm like, so if I'm not in these fucking 3 squads, even if I have a great team, like they have a super unfair advantage. I messaged their support about it. I went full Karen. I was like, this is nonsense. Like,
yeah,
it's hard enough to play. So I've like super pay to win team and I still can't win because these people are cheating basically.
Yeah, that's total BS. I feel like that's worth going full Karen on. I hope they listen too, because it's like worth listening to.
I was like, look at my account. I've played every event since this game is launched. Every single one. I play super actively. And then I sent them a bunch of screenshots of people openly talking about doing that in Discord, because they like will ping each other in Discord like, hey man, can you reset your lineup for me? And I'm just like, what is this fucking nonsense?
Yeah. I thought they
Yeah.
had locked the lineup changing. Like this has been a thing forever,
No.
hadn't it?
The other thing that people
Haven't
do that's bullshit is they when they're not playing, they put in all of their mythicals. So you need like
Yeah, that's
you need certain like you need 8 cards that are part of the current program, and those get rid of your mythicals, so you lose a ton of team power. So they're not playing; they just put all those in. So if you have to match against them, they're super strong. And then when they play, they switch all of those cards out to their cards. So then they can actually get all the full bonuses. But it makes it so like you're more likely to refresh into a super hard opponent and not get a better score spread. And that's what like I don't know the fucking nonsense going on with all that player swapping. I'm like I told them that too. I was like this is happening, and then the opposite is happening where when their teammates match against them, then they take out all those mythicals, so their teammates don't have to deal with that, and then they don't have to wait 2 hours to refresh their thing, which I do have to wait 2 hours because I don't have a fucking. I'm not in those
'cause I'm not
squads and they
cheating.
won't swap for me. It's like I don't know. It's a huge unfair advantage. Not just that. There's like Blitz Brigade is like the top squad, and they have 5 squads. So they have like Blitz Brigade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can get upgraded the more points you get, higher and higher tiers. But that's like between those 5 squads, they have like 80% of the people that are going to be your top opponent. So like they're all in a Discord together, and then they also fucking collude with HPG, and there's like 3 or 4 of like pretty much all the top squads, and they all just like scratch each other's backs. But then if you're not in that exclusive club, you're like shit out of luck. So it's like I don't know. Do we really want to make this game so like if you're not in these squads, you just can't compete? Like that doesn't seem very fair. And how are new players going to do anything? That was my thing. I was like a new NFL season starting, a bunch of people are going to the game, and all the prizes are just going to go to the same fucking 300 people that are cheating the system that have been for months now. Anyway, rant over. Let's do our next giveaway. That was pissing me off because I actually like have a super competitive team this time. I got like rank 335, 320, get fucking prizes. I was like, if these people weren't cheating, I for sure would have fucking got a prize. So like, fuck these people. They're knocking me over the edge.
Yeah, that's such BS.
Yeah, if they don't fix it, I'm probably gonna just go full free to play and not buy anything from them anymore, and just be like, if you go to free to play, you don't get like the you get bonuses for having the players. But I don't think they're required to enter the events anymore. Like you used to need, you can't even enter the event unless you have a certain amount of players. I don't know that that's the case anymore. I think you just don't get the bonuses. So I think I'm just gonna like not get the full bonuses because why bother getting the full bonuses if there's 0% chance I can place anyway? Get the minimum, whatever I need to get in, and then I won't even go for the click race because you want all of the bonuses if you're gonna try to get on the day those legendaries drop, like the click race for that. But they have packs available that are not a click race. There's infinite legendary packs for the current program. So like, as long as those are available in the store, I think I'm just going to buy nothing, get the minimum I can, and then get 1 free legendary each program. And we'll see.
Yeah. That might be, I might join on that again, actually.
We'll see if they fix it. I hope they take my fucking input in because like this current system is just like, I don't know. You're basically you built it in a way that I can't win, even though like I'm a super competitive player and have been for over a full year now. Like,
yeah.
Hopefully they take my advice. All right.
They'd be fools.
We got 11. 11 people in here, 12 people watching. And now we're doing our FTW giveaway. This is for the exclusive watches of the stream.
Exclusive. Nice. Also, it would be nice. It will be nice to see more of like FTW sold again, since that guy who bought 100 million isn't dumping any.
Yeah,
kind of cool though. I mean, it worked. I mean, that's kind of the idea. Is like if you took a flyer on it, like you should be rewarded for your risk tolerance, and that's kind of what you get.
So it's just maybe he'll lose the keys to his wallet and then just never.
Yeah, exactly. I
wouldn't bet on that, but it could happen. It's a possibility. It's not a 0% chance.
I was gonna do an airdrop to people who had like what are they called, the Kronionberg set bonuses in their wallet, but then it was also like I don't want to like spam people who don't want to deal with this, because I know some people in our community aren't interested in meme coin dumb shit, and this isn't part of Neon Space, so I don't want to like.
We spam people with love, and that's not really related to Neon Space.
That's true. I mean, I guess Maybe I will do that
You
because
get
I'm
free
looking for a way
shit.
to like.
You can just not. I mean, I don't know,
That's
you can set
'cause
it
if you don't
to.
want to fuck with it, just leave it. Don't touch it, and that's fine too.
I think there's
I
like a
might still do that. I like the idea.
burn.void wallet or something that you can send it to, like if you want to like just get rid of tokens. But
Yeah, the way that my the FTW contract works too, I can like burn and then reduce the max supply.
Caesar is the
Like,
winner.
I can't
Caesar, and he's gonna
increase
get
it, but I can reduce it.
1 million FTW,
Let's
and you'll
go.
get 1 million wolf. Wait, is that
Nice.
zeros? Yeah. The wolf really came down in price then.
Yeah, Wolf looks like it's dropping right now.
If 25 cents is worth more than a million wolf is like $1 not that long ago, right?
Yeah, like 70, 80 cents for a long time already. Okay, it's still about $1. It's 98 cents.
Did I do
For a
the wrong
million wolf?
amount then of FTW? Because it says FTW is worth way less.
I guess I haven't seen. I have to see the screen.
I'm gonna have to check. I think I might have sent him the wrong amount. But
yeah, 1 million FTW is like $2.50 ish.
yeah, I think I sent him 1,000 or 100,000 because he got a 25 cents worth. So I'm gonna send you 1,100,000 since or I'll send you 900,000. 900.
Bank error in your favor. Some monopoly thing.
900,000. Let me just confirm on Waxblock. Fuck, that's not Waxblock. That ain't Waxblock.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah,
that was 100,000. So I'll send 900,000 more. Just with
nice.
229.
Yeah, like 230. Yep. Dope.
Then we'll send Wolf to the top 3 as well. So you got some.
Nice.
Ivanov,
Yeah,
you're gonna get 1 million.
Thanks for sticking around and watching and hanging. We're a little sidetracked, but I feel like there's a lot of market like nonsense going on lately. It's very sideways still, honestly. Let's see if we get that breakout.
Be Wicked is also going to get 1 million. And then we'll open up another giveaway. Oh shit, I'm sending 1 million to everybody. I meant to. I guess since the first place got 1 million of 2 tokens, 1 million's fine for second place. But just so second gets more than third, we're gonna send 500,000. To third place.
Still works out.
You almost got 1 million. Psych!
Nice.
I have a tweet that if anybody wouldn't mind liking this tweet to make us look more popular than we are, or as popular as we are, I don't know. Exclamation point Neon to join this giveaway, but we have a Neon Heroes playtest 3 starts tomorrow. But I believe you have to be a streamer to get the early access. At some point, it'll be open to everyone, just on Epic Games. But for some amount of time, only streamers can play it. And I will get a key because I'm in the Discord and part of the streamer program. But I'm not sure that Max will get a key because Max is not like in the running that relationship that we have. So I'm hoping that if we can get enough likes and maybe retweets on this tweet that we can show them that we deserve 2 keys. So anybody would go and like this, I would appreciate it. And who knows, maybe without this they'll still give us 2 keys, but they said they're going to track people posting playtest 3. So at the very least I posted it. And I feel like if we get more likes, we're more likely to have them bend to our demands of 2 keys. But if not, Max, you can just join me whenever.
Yeah, I'm into that too.
Let's see what this looks like. I'm fucking stoked for this. This is like legit one of my favorite Web3 games. I had a blast playing it, and I've been sad. Like, it became part of my daily routine because there was like daily tasks that you would grind, which ended up, I don't know what it's worth now, but I think I got dropped like $50 or $60 worth of tokens. I think it was.
So, Neon Heroes, yeah, this game was dope.
It was fun, and yeah, like I got into a squad with like Quadrell, and there's like Andre. There's like 3 or 4 people in Wax, and we started climbing the ranks, and we got to like the 3rd highest rank. We actually did pretty good. So I don't know. It felt cool to play an actual competitive, fun team-based game. There's really nothing like it in Web3 for me, at least. Like, I don't know, I'm a fan of like Counter-Strike, Overwatch, all the team-based games are my favorite games, and I like PvP. So like, I don't know, perfect marriage of these. It's a third-person shooter. Very much what I like to play outside of Web3, and it's taken years for Web3 to like, I don't know, there's all those card games. I don't really play trading card games outside of Web3, and then there's like, I don't know, just all sorts of different types of games in Web3 that I've gotten into because we're Web3 streamers, but it's like I don't play that stuff outside of crypto. So the fact that there's a game that is very much what I like inside of crypto is like, for me, this is like the best Web3 game.
Yeah.
I won't say it's like universally like I know Burst is really into that new like Champions Tactics game, and he says it like kicks the shit out of most Web3 games, but that's another like, I don't know, almost like Final Fantasy style turn-based RPG, and it's just like I don't play
That's
those
like
games outside of
Ubisoft is developing that one too, isn't it?
Yeah. And if you're into that,
Yeah.
it might be better than this, but for me,
Is
like,
that on the fucking Oasis chain?
yeah, it's on Oasis.
Yeah, I thought so. I saw it there the other day when I was leveling up my Riku again.
I think you can mint heroes for like $15 or something. Burst was saying like at first you had to buy a warlord, which was like hundreds of dollars on Ethereum, and then those got you free mints. But I don't know. I think they've opened it up so that, or they're soon opening it up so that anybody can mint heroes and play.
Oh,
But again, like that's just, I feel like that's up your alley, Max. You're more into those styles of games than I am, but
yeah. I mean, I saw it the other day when I was leveling up my Riku on the Oasis chain. And I was like, "What? This looks dope!" And then like has like Ubisoft like branding all over it.
versus streaming it, it looks fun. Like it looks
It
really
looks
well
cool,
produced.
yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like, I won't say this is the best produced Web3 game, but for me, it's the one that I like to play the most. And Illuvium was pretty cool too. We might stream Illuvium again.
Yeah.
They hit us up asking if we want to do sponsored streaming. Haven't replied, but there's too many games. Like,
I enjoyed it.
to be honest, like if we have to choose between that and this week, I would rather play this game for free than get paid to play Illuvium. Which probably not good to say if we're sponsored Illuvium and endorse stream, but this is like, I've been waiting months, or like a month and a half to play this game since it ended. And this is what we're looking at here is a new game type where it might remind you of Overwatch, where you're pushing in cards.
Payload. That's dope.
There's attacking and defending. One team is defending and one team is attacking and pushing a card. But basically added the Overwatch game type, and this game really is inspired by Overwatch heavily.
Yeah. It's like Overwatch, but every character is a little cat and piloting a different mech.
Also, you all have the same guns, so that's a little different than Overwatch. And
Yeah,
I would
that's
say
true.
it's a different speed. Like, the time to kill, depending on your hero, can be faster than Overwatch. And, like,
Yeah.
your ability to zip around the map, too, I think is a bit faster. Like, and then everybody's like Diva, where, like, you have a mech, and then if you die, you exit your mech, and then you can call your mech back if you do enough damage. So, definitely different strategy-wise. It's definitely not as polished as Overwatch. I'm not trying to say this game is as good as Overwatch, but for a blockchain game, it's pretty dope.
It's also really fun. Like the thing that makes this so fun is playing with friends, I think. And that aspect of it was really well like put together already. Like being able to just jump into games with Quadrell and
Burst popped in.
everyone.
He said, "Battlehawk's a top-down shooter. Ubisoft's next one."
Oh,
I'll have to check
is that
that
also
out.
on? Is that one also on Oasis? I've been digging. My
not
Ryu
sure.
is like level 7 now or whatever.
It's
It
on
takes a month between.
Arbitrum. He said, "I
It takes a
think
month between every level, so
we're pretty into Arbitrum. I could probably source Arbitrum
yeah.
funds easier than Oasis funds.
I get airdrop probably like 200, 300 ARB every week.
Yeah, I'm in a bunch of Arbitrum farms on the
Yeah.
old beefy finance."
I just added to the what is it? It's wrap Bitcoin and threshold Bitcoin on both sides. So it's like Bitcoin on both sides, and shit's paying like 40% APR in ARB tokens, which is like, what? 40% on pure Bitcoin? Like, fuck yeah! You better believe I
wonder-
added like 0.3 or 4 Bitcoin to that shit already.
I think Burst was saying you can't stream Battlehawk. I was gonna say I'm gonna look to see if there's any Battlehawk game, but I think you have to sign an NDA. I think it's similar to like the Deadlock game that
Oh,
we tried
Dead-
to stream, and
Dead-
someone's like, "You're about to get fucking." Yeah, nothing comes
I
up.
honestly really like that about it. Like the fact that there isn't anything to look up is like you have to figure out like the meta on your own, and that is not something I had to do in a video game in a long time. It's especially in a competitive game. You just look at what the meta is and copy that. But like, yeah, with their not like allowing the streaming or like distribution of like images from the game, like no one is making content that explains what the meta is.
First said it's not from Ubisoft Paris. I guess the Paris team makes the Oasis game, and then they have. It's cool that they got multiple fucking pots cooking, multiple pans
And on
sizzling up
multiple
Web3
chains.
games.
Arbitrum's probably one of my favorite layer twos. After probably Base Chain is my number one favorite because Coinbase really, I think, has a lot of weight to throw around, and they're right behind that shit. But Arbitrum, I think, is probably my favorite Optimism.
All that fucking pops up is this weird UFL team, the XFL, Orlando Guardians versus St. Louis Battlehawks. They just have full UFL games on YouTube. That's how you know, like, they're not doing well. You will not find full NFL games on YouTube. That shit is super copyrighted. This is also like breaking my computer for some reason. I can't fucking, like, my browser's frozen. Give it a minute. Yeah, top-down shooter sounds. What's an example of a top-down shooter?
Like that MOBA we were playing, right? The one that you got on Binance Smart Chain, isn't that was like a top-down shooter?
The Thetan Arena.
Thetan Arena, yeah, that was it.
Okay, I could be into that. Really, any shooter though is more my speed than like RPGs. The only game I always talk about on stream that I play is I played a lot of Final Fantasy Tactics on my Game Boy Advance. I liked that game a lot, but
isn't that one more? That's more like the other one, the Ubisoft one on Oasis.
I'm just saying that's like in my history of gaming, I think that's the only game in that genre that I've ever played extensively. Like I never played any of the Final Fantasies outside of that Final Fantasy. No, it's just not like
that one is really good. I mean, Tactics is a lot of people's favorite. Tactics and 7, I think, are like near the top of the list.
I think it's because I grew up playing video games with my brother, and like all of those games were single player. So like we generally, like, my brother and I very much would play games together. And then when we did play like single player games, they're generally like story driven games. Like we would maybe play like Red Dead Revolver, and then except Red Dead Revolver is also multiplayer, but like if we did play the single player, we would like trade off and hand each other the controller and play through like the campaign. Yeah. But we never did that for like RPG games for whatever reason. Like it just, I don't know.
Oh, that's cool. I grew up like, I mean, I had sisters that didn't really play video games, so like I would play elaborate RPG story games like for hours on end by myself, and you definitely
any game that was 2-player, like we heavily favored. Like I don't know, like on Sega and stuff. There's like the Punisher side-scrolling beat 'em up shooter game, which was like it was like the Ninja Turtle game that we were talking about earlier, where you go in the arcade. That was like the Simpsons game, where like there's characters and you run. They had one of those for the Punisher. You could be the Punisher, Nick Fury on Sega. Played that game a lot because that was 2-player. We played pretty much any game that's 2-player. We also got into like sports games pretty early because sports games are usually multiplayer. Like we'd play FIFA 94 on Sega Genesis.
Most of that stuff missed me. I was so into like the single player stuff until I got into like online games, and then I got like my eyes open to like the fun of playing multiplayer. But I think the early adventures I had in gaming were very heavily favored towards the like opposite of you, very heavily favoring like Zelda, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time blew my fucking mind in like 1997 or 8 or whenever.
We never had Nintendo console really, and we went from like Sega, then we got Dreamcast, and then we got the PlayStation 1, and then once we went from that, we jumped to Xbox and never went back. So I feel like we played the game that we would trade off on was like Crash Bandicoot was like one of the single player games that like we'd do platformers. So like we'd trade off playing Crash Bandicoot. We had Spyro, same thing, but besides platformers, we never really played single player games. And then we played like
N64. I played mostly multiplayer because that was mostly for like I would invite like people would come over and we would play Smash Brothers or Mario or stuff like that together. But I really got into like the single player when I got my Xbox, and like I played through like Morrowind or Halo or Fable or I don't know what were the other big like RPGs I got into back then. Oh, Knights of the Old Republic. I played that one for fucking hours and hours.
Oh, that's when we played on Xbox. My brother and I would play.
Oh yeah.
Coder or
Did you
whatever
go?
they called it.
Did you go evil?
KOTR.
Yeah, Kotor. Yeah. Did you play good or bad, or both? I guess you could
Um,
have gone.
I never really beat it that far, but I think I tried to be good. I think I tried to. I feel like I kind of just did both though. Like I wasn't really
Yeah,
like heavily in either.
I usually approached it like, how would I, if I was this character, what would I do in this situation? And it was like generally good leaning, but
Yeah,
like there
but
was
sometimes
definitely
it's like
like
just
some
fuck
people.
off. I'm not going to deal with this
Yeah, some
person.
people were like rude to you, and then like you could still be the bigger person. I'd be like, nah, like I'm gonna let this person like reap what he's sown.
I never beat it that far in that game. I think I beat it like maybe like the first of the 3 chapters or whatever. I think I might be having the same anchor problem you're having.
Yeah, you gotta go to Control Shift Escape to bring up your task manager, and then look under the Chrome tab. If you open the collapse Chrome thing, there's a bunch of instances of Anchor. You just have to force quit them.
Mine's under Firefox.
Oh yeah, well under your browser tab. Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Yeah, here they are.
Yeah, and they all of them are like locking up CPU, even though they're clearly not operational at the moment.
I don't see
It
Anchor
slows your shit
though.
down.
It just says Google
Hmm.
Chrome a bunch of times. I don't know. I'll just shut all of these except.
Yeah.
Oh, looking weird.
Did you bring that up on? Did you do the command? What is it? Control Shift Escape to bring up the task manager,
Yeah.
and then under. Let's
Hmm.
see. Oh, I guess there's also an Anchor wallet section that has its own little like.
Yeah, I might have to close that.
You might just have to force quit that as
I don't
well.
know though. It says Streamlabs is taking up most of my CPU, and then OBS.
Oh.
I don't know what's going on. Let's try to run this giveaway before I break.
Yeah, it's chunking.
This might be Jover. I'm gonna quit Anchor, see if that helps.
We've had a
I
good
can't
one.
refresh this, or it'll. Where? Let's see. Let's open a new one and see if I can find where on the page Crittercraft Star would be. See if I can click it.
Oh yeah, see if the cursor changes to like the.
This is also not really loading. I think I just need to relaunch my. I think the other games my
Boo.
brother and I played a lot. We played a lot of Soul Calibur. We played like a lot of Soul Calibur. I always played with I think Nightmare was his name, the guy with the giant sword. I think I also
Oh
liked.
yeah,
I think there's a guy named
the sword
Maxi
with
in that game
the
that we
sword
tried
has
to
like
play.
an eyeball.
Or no, I liked
Yeah, Maxi.
Kilik. Kilik, I think his name
I
was.
think Maxi had like the nunchucks, I think, and
Yeah,
then
I think my brother is good at him. Is our
I
internet
like
broken, or is it
the.
just this fucking
Let's see.
browser? I mean, we wouldn't be streaming if it was broken.
No, my internet's working fine. I
We
like
have tried
there was,
Twitchy
I think
tides.
Raphael was the guy's name. He had like a fencing sword. I liked that guy. He was fucking great.
My brother played that guy too. I liked Kilik. He had the like pole.
Oh yeah, he's good.
I liked him,
Or
and
there was that like mummy guy who had like knife hands, and I liked him. He was great. Or that woman with like, I think Ivy. She had like a whip sword.
she had like a single-handed sword, but then she could like a one-hand sword, but she could extend the whip out of it. I liked the Viking woman. She had like a shield and a one-handed sword. Yeah, I think this might be busted. We might have to redo the Crittercraft. Sorry, everybody. Let's see.
Ooh.
I liked there's this bonus player that I thought was the best player in the game, but you had to like beat the game a bunch of times to unlock
Yeah.
him. I'm trying to find.
I remember there was like a console specific secret character too, or whatever, download character maybe. Because like on
This.
Xbox you got Spawn, and on PlayStation I think you had Darth Vader.
I don't know that was a thing on Dreamcast. We didn't have any. I don't remember any characters being outside of the.
Yeah, because Spawn, I remember having Spawn on Xbox. And I was like, that's badass. Like Spawn is such a cool character. I was like, I'd way rather play a Spawn than Darth Vader.
All of
Although
my CPU.
Darth Vader's pretty cool too. I feel like they had some crazy shit on that game. Let's see, who were the other characters?
I don't know what is going on with this shit. Microsoft Edge Web View, maybe I can end that. I don't even have Microsoft Edge up.
There we go. Console
It also
exclusives.
says there's 6 instances of Google Chrome open, which is not accurate. I have 1 tab open. If I end it, it's going to mess up the stream. We have a friggin' Anchor virus today.
Oh.
Firefox. Okay, we're gonna do Soul Calibur before we go. Soul Calibur.
Oh shit! I think Link was the character on GameCube. You could play as like. That's cool as shit.
Character roster.
Who the fuck is
my brother? Like this guy Mitsurigi. Yeah, Sophita is who I was thinking of. I like Sophita. She's like a Viking lady. I liked Huang. I liked like all these fucking characters. I played. Yeah, Nightmare was one of the guys I played a lot. I liked Astaroth. I liked slow characters with big heavy weapons. Astaroth and Nightmare I played. My brother would play Yoshimitsu, and I feel like that guy pissed me off endlessly because he could teleport behind you. I was like,
yeah. So could the whip chick. She could like swing her sword into the ground and it would come up like wherever you were. And that I loved that move. Ivy, I think her name is maybe.
And then Kalik, I liked him.
Kalik was all right. I played as Maxi just because of the name. But Raphael was my best character, the guy with the fencing sword. Because you could like, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but you could like hit people from pretty far away and just like poke them to death. Or like juggle them really well. He had a lot of juggling combos.
I liked Huang. He had a move where like you could jump in and then he like flipped his sword inside of you. Cervantes, I think, was the best character. Like, it took us a long time to unlock Cervantes. He's the pirate dude. The Cervantes fucked. This guy rocked. What is happening?
Yeah. I remember that guy.
And then I think we never unlocked. I think you could unlock Inferno. Inferno was like the final boss you had to fight. I think you had to beat the game with every single character on the hardest difficulty, and we never did that.
That's cool.
I also used to like Voldo. He was the guy who like he fought like almost like the how they have like the drunken
yeah, that's the mummy guy I was talking about. He has like knives for hands and he like crawls like backwards and shit, and
he looks like he's into fucking like BDSM and horror movies. Like he like crawls out of the fucking ring and like is trying to fucking he
crawls like he moves like he's crawling through a TV.
He
like
might peg you.
Weird.
He might be a little kinky, or he might kill you. You don't know. That's part of the fun.
I like that. I like that guy. It's part of the suspense.
I keep looking at his characters. Like I played all of these characters. I also liked
I played a lot of Spawn. I can't like Spawn was by far my favorite. He also had such cool moves with like his cape.
Was that the first game? Because I feel like that character's not in this game. These are all the characters.
Soul Calibur 2. Soul Calibur 2.
I played Soul Calibur 1. And the game I always talk about too is Power Stone that like nobody except my family played. My brother and I played a lot of Power Stone. That game was another very fun fighting game. I kind of fell off. I didn't like other than Super Smash Brothers. I don't really play fighting games. I guess I kind of like that new one that just came out, the Steam one.
Yeah.
The one with like Rick and Morty and shit. What is the name? Multiverses?
Oh yeah, Multiverses. Yeah, that game's dope.
Okay, so we have a new giveaway. sorry, everybody's gonna have to oh shit, Burst of Energy resubscribed. I don't know how we missed that notification, but thank you.
Yeah, it's probably because shit was chunking. Thanks for sticking with us. Oh wow, Link in Soul Calibur, there was like a whole like storyline for it. It says after defeating Ganondorf, Link had discovered that Ganondorf was using a piece of Soul Edge, which exists in another world. So Link uses the power of the Triforce to travel into the world where Soul Edge originated. His journey is to the is to find the Soul Edge and destroy it. That's his like story arc within Soul Calibur.
I didn't know that Link was into edging. He's a guy.
Right? I mean, after defeating Ganondorf too, so it's like Ganondorf's dead already. Like, what are you doing?
He's still edging. He's still going. He didn't bust his load on Ganondorf. He's still edging after Ganondorf died.
That Soul Edge now in a whole nother world. I mean, that's cool. I didn't really follow the links. I didn't have it on GameCube. I had it on Xbox, and that's why I had Spawn. And I thought Spawn was dope.
Dreamcast had a bunch of dope games. I feel like the Sega has like an underrated, because like I think at some point Madden got exclusive rights to like all NFL games on the console.
Yeah.
And the NFL 2K series was really good though, and I think Sega the 2K series ended up going for basketball. I think like NBA 2K is still like to this day
Yeah.
the top basketball games, but they used to have it for like multiple sports. Like the football games were good, and then Virtua Tennis was like my brother and I played a lot of Virtua Tennis. That was also like
That
in
one.
in high school. Like my brother and I were both on the Issaquah High School tennis team, so like tennis was the sport we played the most. So like you and I were kind of into tennis. Neither of us were good though. Like, I mean, my brother was better than I was, but I don't think I even made the varsity team my senior year. I also didn't play a single event my senior year. I just fucking like, I used it as a PE credit because you got a PE credit if you did tennis. And then I
Nice.
didn't do enough practices to play a game. You had to do like 15 practices to play a game, and I just kept missing all the practices. But I still got the PE credit, so I was like, gotcha. But
Nice.
yeah, I was never that into tennis. Our parents forced us to play a sport. We had to play one sport every year, and like tennis was just like the easiest as far as like I guess I had the most fun like during practice because like we did track for a while. There's so much fucking running in track. It's just like I don't want to fucking run all the time. This shit sucks. And then like
Yeah.
play football, you have to do. We didn't even. I guess we had a football team at our school, but I did like little league football when I was in like 5th grade. I was just too small. I'm too small of a person. I got fucking crushed by everybody. I was like, yeah, I'm not
Mhm.
big enough to play. Kind of a late bloomer puberty wise in high school. I was like, if I join this high school football team, I'm a child and there's fully grown men out here gonna fucking smash the shit out of me. And then we didn't have I don't think we had a baseball. Did we have a baseball team at Issaquah? I can't remember.
I think so, but
Issaquah Middle School
I don't
didn't.
know.
Issaquah Middle School had a softball
Yeah, I
team. I
don't
played
know.
softball in middle school, which was very strange. Everybody's like, isn't that a girl's sport? I was like, we don't have a baseball team, but I played Little League baseball. I played like every sport. I played Little League basketball. I played Little League soccer. Played every sport for like years and then kind of like faded away from that in high school. And I started getting into music and shit. I was like, yeah, I'd rather practice guitar than fucking run around and throw a ball. But
Yeah.
tennis was my fucking. I haven't played tennis in so long. I bet I'm fucking garbage now.
I was always garbage. When I was
And
like a kid, we went and played tennis at like some sporting, like I don't know, I was bad. I just like the like making noises is fun.
if you play in high school, like you could get to the varsity level by not even really being that good. Like the kind of like trick I would say, like if I was trying to like if you're not trying to be the best tennis player and you're like I'm never trying to go to college or like reach the professionals and you just want to do well in your fucking like relatively well in your local college areas, don't even
Yeah.
try to score points. Just hit the ball back to other people, and people trying to score points fuck up more often than they don't, like at the level I was playing at. So if you could just
Yeah.
volley and keep hitting it back, they would try to slam it and then hit it in the net or they hit it out of bounds. Like as long as you just like
Uh,
you let them make the mistakes and you kind of like which I feel like most people didn't play that way. And like the games that I
yeah.
did win was usually just because I did that. I was just like, I'm gonna hit it back to you and you're gonna fuck up. Like I'm not gonna try to hit fancy moves or like do crazy serves and shit. And that honestly, like I won some games doing that, but like one of the best guys on
Yeah.
our team did that, and he was super frustrating to play because he was just like always hit it back to you. And I'd be like, and then I'd fucking smack it, like either hit it out or go into the net. And like
Yeah.
if you're really good, you have to learn how to be aggressive. But like I feel like if you're just trying to like be on the high end of the low tier, like just being good enough to like
Yeah. In high school, I remember I tried like my mom was like you should do a sport, like for exercise, you should do some after school thing. And then I was like, okay, well, I don't really want to do any of this shit. And so like my dad played golf and I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll learn how to play golf by doing golf as an after school sport." And so I
is
went
that
to
even
like
an
do
after
the
school sport?
there was a golf team at the high school. So I was like, "Oh, I'll try out for the golf team." And like my mom drove me to like the tryout, which was at like some driving range somewhere. And it was like all of those people were incredibly good at golf. And there's no room for like somebody to learn. It wasn't like a place to go to learn. It was like if your parents had taught you to play golf since you were like 6 years old, this is like a team where you can then go do competitions against other like schools. But yeah, I don't know. I remember being like, well,
That's
like
why
I
most
tried
teams
out and I
had
was like,
like
I don't know how to play. I'm trying to join the team to learn.
well, that's
And
why
they're
most
like,
teams
yeah,
had like varsity and junior varsity. And junior varsity was like the more learning, shitty players, and then varsity was
Yeah,
like
the
the actual
golf
competitive teams.
golf team only had like the competitive team, I guess. But I was just like, "Yep, this is dumb." Like, but it was a nice cop out too, because my mom was with me at the thing, and she was just like, "Well, what the fuck?" And then I was able to be like, "Yeah, all after school sports are like that, so I guess I can't do them."
My parents
And she
got
was
me
like,
like we
"Yeah,
took like we went to like tennis summer camps, and we did like
oh, yeah.
tennis. We had to tennis training, so like we did a decent amount of training. We honestly did that for like every summer for years. Like we'd go to flag football camps or like some sort of sports camp. Honestly, that was just because my parents wanted us to get the fuck out of their hair. They're like, yeah, can you like
Oh, yeah.
you're not in school for 6 to 8 hours a day. Can you
Yeah,
just go
3
fucking go do
months.
some other shit?
That's true. I would do that too.
I think that's why my
Get 'em
parents
out of
like signed us up for. We were never like super. We did like summer camp a few times. I never liked summer camp where they like ship you off and you have to go sleep in a fucking cabin. Like,
there. Yeah.
I feel like they always
I
got
didn't really do
weirdly
that
like.
much.
I feel like it always had weird religious undertones every time I went to a summer
I
camp.
went with my evangelical friend to like a Bible camp for like a week, and it was very, very religious. Like,
I don't even know that ours was a Bible camp, but I feel like it's still like tried to squeeze it in where it's like we'll do archery and then we're gonna come around and fucking like tell you stories
Yeah.
about Jesus. And I was like, yeah, can we just stick to the archery? Like that's pretty cool.
I remember, I mean, I was like youngish, but like I tried to play along, you know, like part of the thing was like let Jesus into your heart or into your life, or like pray and then like listen for Jesus to speak to you. And then like we had like this whole group, like everyone talking about like their experiences with like, you know, Jesus talking to them over the week. And then when it was my turn to share, I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I tried, but like silence. Like he's not
Picked up the
talking to me.
phone, there was no fucking ring, and
Yeah, I was like, I tried. Like, I have an open mind about it, but like, I don't know. No one's talking back. Like, I'm talking, but I'm listening, and no one's. It's just quiet. And they're like, oh, sometimes this, and I was just like, yeah, sometimes. I was just like, whatever. Like, I don't feel bad about it. Honestly, I feel like most people are full of shit. Like, all these people had these fantastical stories of like hearing Jesus talk to them and shit, and I was just like, what is this? Like, every single one of these people is like has some type of like pretty life-changing experience like that to share from that week. And then when I was like, yeah, I don't know, like my favorite thing was kayaking on the lake and swimming and stuff, but like God didn't talk to me at all, you know. But they didn't really dwell on it too long either. I was just like, I gave them follow-up answers where I was like, yeah, I tried, I did this and that, and you know, nothing. And they're like, okay, moving on.
I remember that being
I
a
don't know.
pretty small part of the camps that I went to. It wasn't like super religious
Yeah.
oriented, but I was still just like, this is weird.
This-
Like, why can't we just hang out in the woods and have fun? Why do you gotta get all
Yeah,
freaky?
this was like there was like a mass like every night at this camp, and then like there was like
I think you-
prayer before every
You
meal
probably
and
went to
stuff.
way
It was like
more.
it was
way
a
more
straight up
Jesus camp.
evangelical like camp. It was evangelical. Like when I went to church with those people a few times, and their church was like a 4 to 5 hour affair.
That's
Like, they
too
would
many
have, like,
hours.
You'd have like a mass, which I'm used to that. You do like an hour-long mass, right? Where you all get together, and then after that you fuck off. But no, they would then go like the adults went to go do whatever, and then like all the kids would go do like a Bible study Sunday school thing for like 2 or 3 hours, and then everyone would get back together at some point. It was like a whole day thing. And I was like, thanks for inviting me, but I'm not gonna do that again.
We did
Like,
Sunday school like a handful of times. And I think my brother and I just told my parents, we're like, we fucking hate this. Like, this sucks. And they just didn't make us go
Yeah.
back. Our
yeah, I did like
my
Bible
family's pretty
study and
like
stuff. I mean, I was grew up Christian, and I was I did confirmation and communion and all, you know, the sacristies or whatever they call that stuff. So I did participate pretty like fully until I was like into my young
my
adulthood.
parents were never really religious, and my mom especially was like we celebrated Hanukkah one year, and I think we like went to a synagogue, and then like we
Oh,
went
yeah?
to different sects of Christianity. Like she'd take us to different churches to be like, this is what this one is, this is what this one is, and always just kind of like,
That's
this is what's
cool.
out here. You don't have to do any of these, but like be aware there isn't just one, and like I don't know. So she was always
Yeah.
very open, and I feel like that was kind of a cool. Also, like
That's really
I don't know if
cool.
she intentionally did it, but like kind of created acceptance because it was like not like this is the only right thing, everybody else is wrong and going to hell. It was like yeah, there's a lot of options out there, and like do whatever works for you. I feel like is not how most people did it, and then it wasn't. We got more into like Catholicism when my stepmom's pretty like I don't think so anymore, but she was very like she was raised super strictly Catholic, so she was more into like, and even then we would go to church on um Easter and Christmas. Like we'd only go to church like 2 times a year, but like still strictly Catholicism. And I don't know, we were not super religious. Your family, I think, like your mom goes to church every Sunday still, right?
Yeah. Yeah, still. And she'll do like Bible studies on Wednesday, and she does like feed the homeless lunches through the church like every week or every other week where
I
she
did
cooks food
that.
for
Like
them.
I volunteered at my grandpa's food bank that was through his church, but I didn't go to his church. I only did the food bank part of it. That was actually
I think
pretty fun.
they actually she dipped out on the Bible study because those people kind of like showed their fucking
I remember you
themselves to
talked about
be
there's drama that like
money-hungry
because
shitheads.
she wasn't donating enough money, they were like
She
not
wasn't
inviting her to
donating,
shit.
yeah, and it's because her sister and her mom were like dying, and she left the country to go take care of them in hospice, and then like her mom died in her arms and all this stuff, and the whole time the church people weren't like calling and like, hey, are you okay? Do you want to talk about it or shit? And then when she came back, it was like, oh, are you gonna donate again? And then she was like, what the fuck? Like, we're done. Like, never again. We're done with this
You
church.
gotta
We're
pay
done with
those
these people.
tithes. Isn't it tithe?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they call it?
Yeah, I think so. And then my dad, I know, is excommunicated by the Christian church, full on, like, got a letter from the Vatican with like a stamp from the Pope because he didn't pay the tithes in Germany and in the United States or some shit because he lived in like multiple places, and they're like, oh, you have to pay tithes in Germany, and he's just like, I don't, because I live in America and I did that here or whatever. I participate in the Catholic Church there, and the church was like, no, you need it here. And
Why
like,
does God need
no.
a percentage of your paycheck? Like what?
I mean, in Germany, it's like a fucking like business like thing, like you're paying into fucking like Social Security almost.
Yeah,
Like it's part you can like it's nuts. So
it's
he's just
especially
like, yeah,
crazy
don't
when
take money
like
out of my check. And
you
then you
see
get
those
excommunicated.
like pastors with like the mega churches and they like have private jets and like all it's like where's this money going? Like it's
Jesus.
not always going to the right causes, but I feel like that's
No.
true for any organization with power, not exclusive to churches. Like
Yeah.
anybody that has
I also
access
like
to that power without much people really testing them is going to abuse the power. I don't think it's an
Yeah.
inherent
It's
flaw with
also
like
strange. To me, it's strange to have a donation system that's like you have to donate this amount. It's like, well, that's not a fucking donation, is it?
that's
Like
never
if
been
I'm
how any
donating,
church
it's up
I've
to
ever
me.
been to goes to. I
Yeah.
don't know what hardcore churches your family found, but like when we went, there's always the
Hardcore shit, dude.
donation. They'd pass around a basket.
Yeah, the bucket. Yeah.
That's
I remember they always did
that's all
that,
I
and I
ever
know
knew.
my mom would always like they would drop like a sealed envelope with a check, and it was a sizable check compared to what other people were dropping in there.
My
It had
parents
like
would give us like
it
each
was,
one of the kids. They'd give
it
us
was
like a
at
$5
least
bill that we'd drop in there.
yeah.
But
See this, like I could see the check like through the envelope, and it was at least a 3-figure to 4-figure number every fucking
Jesus
time.
Christ, a 4-figure
Yeah, it was at
tithe.
least it was usually like $100-$200, but so yeah, sometimes like on a holiday or something, they donate a lot of money. I mean. And then it's absurd. That's why he was so upset. Where he's like, I donate a lot of money already, but in the U.S. And they're like, well, that doesn't count. And then he's like, fuck you. And then, yeah, I just thought it was so absurd to get like a letter from the Vatican with like the wax stamp and everything, like from the Vatican seal and everything, to be like, you're excommunicated from the Christian church. He laughed it up so hard too, and my mom was like a little upset, but she was also like, he's very not religious and she's very religious. And my mom was like, I remember the argument too. I was young, but it was something paraphrased, something along the lines of my mom like, she's like, I'm just worried that you'll end up going to hell because of stupid shit like this. And him being like, if I go to hell, I'll be the guy shoveling coal into the furnace, like to heat it up. Like something along those lines in German. I was like, this is too funny. Like he doesn't take it seriously at all.
My dad definitely. I remember hearing my dad's dad was super religious. Like the only time we ever did like he's the one that like volunteered at the food bank that we'd go volunteer with, but like we'd have to
Yeah.
do grace every time before we ate. Like you could never put food in your mouth. Like
Mm.
fucking wait for everybody to get around and be like, this shit's getting cold. Like I kind of want to
Yeah.
eat this, but it's like you had to wait and say grace. And he thought like Harry Potter was like fucking like because it had magic in it was like you shouldn't watch Harry Potter because it's like sacrilegious and shit. But I remember he and my
I
dad
mean,
having
it's
some
fantasy.
arguments where like at one point like they'd been drinking all night and I just sort of like walked out to like grab a drink. He's like, I can guarantee you there is no hell. And I was just like, they're having quite the fucking argument out in our living room. But
I had an interesting, like somebody came to my door once in college, and I remember they'd be like, they were trying to sell religion in some way, and they're like, "Hey, I just like wanted to check," like, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't need any of that," and they're like, "Oh, but like, don't you want to go to heaven?" It's like, "Oh yeah, I'm 100% sure I'm going to heaven." And the guy was like, "What? Like what? How?" It's just like, "Well, Jesus died for my sins, so my sins are absolved, and I'm going to heaven." Like, I read
it's
the
like
Bible.
it's a get out of jail free pass. If you're not sinning, you're really
Yeah.
just you're letting
read the
Jesus
fucking-
die in vain. Or do you want Jesus to die for nothing? Go out there and
He died
sin it
for
up,
my
baby.
sins. I don't even have to like I don't even have to ask for forgiveness. I've been forgiven. That's the fucking premise of why he was.
I read
he
the book.
sacrificed- Yeah, I read that shit. I was like, I'm 100% sure based on what you're peddling, I'm already set, so I'm good.
We always got the fucking like
also a smart ass in those situations.
who are the it's like is it the Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses? Are they Mormon? Whatever that is. They would always come door to door.
The Latter-day Saints are the Mormons.
I think they were the ones that I think the Jehovah's Witnesses are the ones that would normally come door to door. We got those in Bellingham, and I would just be like, "Nah, I'm good." Like,
yeah, the Mormons are like the younger people, like usually young white people with like white shirts and ties, but no jackets, on bicycles. Those are like the Mormons. But I feel like the Jehovah's Witnesses that I had come to my door weren't always dressed like it wasn't like a uniform. Whereas like Mormons, I'm like it's always a white shirt and then like some kind of like muted color tie. And they always look very like pristine.
I always wonder.
They're not
Prince
slacking
converted
the
to be a
tire.
Jehovah's Witness, and part of being a Jehovah's Witness is you had to go like try to convert people. I always wonder if like you're in fucking Minnesota, if like Prince was going door to door, being like, "Hey, fucking, do you want to be you want to witness Jehovah with me?" I'm not really even sure what Jehovah's Witness is. I feel like it's all kind of the same thing, but like slightly different.
I know they have
flavors.
some strange rules too, where like I don't think they celebrate birthdays or other like major holidays in general. I don't think there's like huge celebrations. If I'm remembering correctly, it's like against the religion to celebrate shit like on the scale that like generally Western culture celebrates things.
This is probably
I might be
blasphemous.
wrong.
I'm gonna jump into some hot water here, but I feel like religion's sort of like Mexican food, where it's like it's all kind of just like meat, beans, cheese, and some sort of rice and some sort of like tortilla, but it could be a taco, it could be a burrito, it could be an enchilada, and it's all just like they're all kind of the same thing, but like there's different flavorings and slightly different preparations, but it's like they're all kind of like 85% the same, and then they argue, which is crazy, like how much war and violence and stuff has been cited over like the small differences between religions. Like most religions agree on like 95% of the stuff, except maybe like Eastern religions.
Yeah.
Eastern religions have pretty vastly different views than Western religion. Like most Western religion relies around the same stuff, but
yeah, I don't know. It's interesting though.
It is. I don't know. The one thing I'll say about religion is like people in totally different parts of the world who like provenly weren't reading the same texts all kind of came to the same conclusion about stuff. I think that's the most compelling argument for religion, that like people like that weren't traveling and spreading religion like in different parts of the world came up with the same philosophies and like the same like I don't know, like everybody came up with there's like a power higher than us, and like I don't know, like it's something inherent in human that either we want to believe or maybe there is some truth to it.
There's also examples of like scientific discovery happening in the same way, where like multiple people across the globe that are not sharing data are making the same discoveries at around the same time. Like the internal combustion engine, for example, I think was discovered like within like a few months by separate inventors. Like where it's like that's crazy, it's like how is that possible too? Because that's like, but at the same time I think there's non-spiritual like explanations for it that involve like a collective unconscious that like all like living things are connecting to and can pull from and contribute to, which is like, I don't know, that sounds like spirituality to me.
Yeah,
like,
that's sort of always been my thing, is like I don't discredit any of that stuff, and also like maybe that's God. Maybe God is the connection we
Yeah.
all have to each other, and as a rate, like I don't know. That's why I've always said I'm agnostic and not
Yeah.
atheist because I'm like I don't necessarily think God is a bearded man in the sky, but I do think there's something going on that we don't understand
Yeah.
that's above us, and like just a bunch of weird stuff that's like yeah, but I don't know that
And
like
also,
I don't know that there's like karma police and someone like judging you on every single thing that's gonna like
yeah.
have like a fucking checklist. It's like, yeah, you didn't fucking make the list, bro. You're not getting into heaven. Take the elevator
It would
down.
it would be nice, like the thought of people being like getting their comeuppance or whatever, like evil deeds being, like brought to justice is nice, but I don't know that that's
I
like
think the
something that
closest thing to
necessarily
karma is
happens.
that like a lot of people that are like very selfish and like a lot of people that are assholes and hurt other people are extremely unhappy themselves. Like
Yeah.
they end up hurting people because they're hurt, and by not addressing that, they don't get better. And like I feel like that's
Yeah.
kind of like closer to how karma works. But like, yeah, I don't know. There's tons of
Yeah.
like very unethical people making a ton of money and living like
Yeah.
on paper very good lives, but
Like I'm
like
sure the guy who like raised the like cost of like the AIDS medication isn't gonna like die of AIDS.
is
Like,
that was that Martin Shkreli?
I don't remember.
He ended up in
if-
prison, so I don't know.
Yeah, but the poetic justice of it would be like he dies in agony, like the people who died in agony couldn't afford that fucking medication.
Yeah, I
Which
don't think it's like an eye for an eye
It's
or like
yeah,
exact-
it's not quite that like poetic, but it's also like yeah, like you said, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's like I do feel like a connection and a kinship with other living things, and I don't consider myself religious, so I wouldn't say that like the wantingness to like make other people like not uncomfortable doesn't have to come from God. Like that whole idea of like you can only get your morals from religion is insane to me.
Yeah,
Oh,
people
yeah,
that say that
the
it's like,
last
what would
one.
you just be murdering people if you didn't believe in God? Like, like I
No,
don't know.
because I still want to exist in the society. Like, what's stopping me from
Well,
doing
not
that
only
is that I
that,
want to
like if you're not a complete fucking
Yeah,
sociopath,
it makes
like
me feel
you
weird. It
have
makes me feel
guilt.
weird.
Guilt exists. Like I don't know. Like if
Yeah.
guilt doesn't exist for you, and the only reason you're not doing things is because you're afraid of hell, you have some serious mental issues. Because
'Cause I
like
would feel bad.
if I
Yeah,
fuck
'cause I would
someone
feel
over, I
bad
feel bad
hurting.
about it. Like even
Yeah.
if it's like unintentionally, and like you know you have
I hit a coyote and I fucking like really like was shaken up by that emotionally. I was like, "Oh, I can't believe like it died." I didn't mean to, and it ran in front of my car on a freeway, but it's also like I have feelings and I'm not a fucking psycho. It's not because I'm like, "Oh God, please forgive me for killing something." It's just like, "God, that fucking sucked." Like not
I also
something I
think
want
it's
to be
weird when
doing.
people like try to correlate laws and morals. Like things that are against the law are immoral, and like I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
laws have nothing to do with
That's
the
insane.
morals. They have everything to do with like the way the government works and the way people with money want society to run. But like I don't know. That's a
Yeah.
whole different topic. I feel like the one thing that I'm most certain of is that like I'm not sure about anything. Like anybody that's
Yeah.
100% positive about like religion and shit, it's like that to me is sus.
That's
Like
crazy.
you have to know, even if you believe, even if like you are religious, like there's faith,
Yeah.
and faith is a thing for a reason because you don't actually fucking know. Like you have faith in
Right.
something, but being like so confident that you're like, you know, willing to shun other people for their lifestyles and tell them they're going is like, how are you so confident that like I don't
Right?
know.
'Cause
That to me is
new
crazy.
data, new evidence can come up. What if the sky opens and Vishnu shows up? Are you still gonna fucking,
I feel the same way
be
about
all
people that are atheists though. Like people that are so
yeah?
confident there isn't a god, it's like, how the fuck do you
How
know,
can
man?
you
Like
yeah,
you're
how
doing
can
the
you be
same thing
that
in the
sure?
opposite direction.
I'd be like, most of the data suggests there maybe isn't a god that I can observe empirically. Yes, I'm all for that, but that doesn't mean that doesn't exist. That's a pretty huge leap to be like, based on what we do know, it doesn't exist. That doesn't mean that based on what we do know, we can surmise that we for sure know that it doesn't exist. Like that's stupid. It'd
You
be
can't
like
really prove
based on
that
what we
for
know
anything
now,
philosophically.
this is the best fitting like model to our information. But if the information changes, then so will the model. Like I'm pretty sure most people know that the sun is the center of the solar system and the planets move around the sun. All of that shit comes from evidence that you can observe yourself. If you can start observing something that breaks that model, then I think the model would change. Although I doubt that we're going to find that that's not actually how it is. But as hard as it is to think about it in those terms, before we decided that that was the model of the solar system, the model was the world is at the center and everything's moving around the world. So, and people were very sure about that until they
That
weren't.
was like
You know,
the best argument in that episode of Always Sunny, where he's like, fucking science is dumb. Like the smartest man on Earth 300 years ago was wrong about everything. So like,
everything.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's like the funny, like when Mac's trying to explain like why religion is true, and I don't know.
right.
Always Sunny has like
And
some
that's,
pretty poignant,
yeah,
commentary, like wielded in fucking in comedy, and they're all ridiculous and over the top. But like, I do feel like they actually
yeah.
like land on some points where I'm
Oh,
like, this show says some stuff.
it's really well done. That's framed. So I love the gun violence one too, where like it starts out with like Dennis and D are like on the side of like we need to get guns off the street, and Charlie and Mac are on the side of we need more guns on the street. And then like they both have their adventures going towards that goal, and then they flip their opinion to the other's opinion by
At
the
the
end
end,
of the
Frank's
episode.
just like he's like
Fucking
there's
brilliant.
he's dupers and dupies. I'm not gonna be the
Yeah.
fucking dupie.
Yeah, and then the whole time Frank is whipping everyone into a frenzy for financial gain, which is like such a good undertone for the whole like I don't know. It's really solid satire.
Shout out Always Sunny. I feel like they gotta have a new season coming out soon. I love that show.
I hope so.
It's also
I'm gonna
like
grab a drink really quick too. Oh, how long have we been going? I feel like
probably
we
end
should
after
have to
this
pee.
giveaway. We've been going for like
Like I gotta go pee too. Like
3 hours and 20 minutes. That's about time.
Let me grab a drink really quick. I'll be right back.
Tomorrow we're gonna, I think probably I'll do a solo stream. Max has some stuff to do. Tomorrow we'll do some off the rails, watch some videos, which is what I'm good at, ranting about my experiences at summer camp and Soul Calibur and that sort of thing. Those are my expertise, while Max is great at chart reading and stuff that is actually useful. I'm good at the useless stuff. I'm good at waffling, as some might say, just fucking letting it rip. I sort of miss Mark for that reason. Mark and I were very good about talking about nothing for a long time. Which Max is also good, but Mark has the gift of gab. Mark's a good chatter. Shout out to Mark. Neon Mark, taller than Prince. King Pizza in Wenatchee, Washington. I tried to watch that Terrence Howard video, and it was just like, it was too much, him on the Joe Rogan Experience. And then they later had, the one I probably will watch is they brought on like an astrophysicist or some fucking insane scientist that just shut down everything he was saying with like real facts. That's the thing about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's not smart enough to like disprove any of the shit smart people or even not smart people that are trying to be smart people are saying. But yeah, I liked that he did two with Terrence Howard, one by himself where he's like, holy shit, this guy is proving everything. And then I think they did like a follow up and he was just like, yeah, you're not right about like any of this shit. But yeah, it was really long. I watched like the first hour of but the other one sounds more fun to me where there's like a back and forth. I know who's that famous scientist that everybody likes? Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think he did like a 50-minute video or something disproving the Joe Rogan one. I also watched Joe Rogan stand up last night. It was not great. I feel like Joe Rogan's never been good at stand up though. If we're getting off the rails here. Like he's more well known for being a good podcaster than a stand up. Like I don't know.
Yeah, he definitely is. Or for being the host of Fear Factor.
I feel like he's definitely not as well known for that as the Joe Rogan Experience at this point, but
yeah, for sure. At this point, yeah.
The one cool thing I'll give him for his special is that it was live. It was live broadcasted. You were like, it was aired while recording, and it's I think the first ever live stand-up special on Netflix. Maybe the first ever live stand-up special ever. Like I don't know of another one. Like obviously they're usually recorded over like 2 or 3 nights and then edited into one show. Like his was like as he's performing it live being streamed on Netflix, which is like that's definitely a ballsy move as far as like if you make a mistake, everybody sees that mistake. Like so that I thought was kind of cool, but the actual content of it I was like I had it on the background while I was playing Counter-Strike, so I wasn't like really paying attention to it, but yeah, it's like I don't know what you would expect from Joe Rogan. Like his stand-up's always kind of been like closer to what the fuck is I'm probably gonna get like the comparison I'm gonna make is I'm probably gonna flame for, but there's like that stand up who did a lot of like almost like philosophical stuff in the 90s that everybody went fucking crazy for. And I was like, this guy's not Dennis Leary, is it? Who the fuck am I thinking? There's
Mm.
there's a guy that like it wasn't necessarily political, but it was like a lot of like social commentary. He talked about like doing psychedelics and stuff, and like people were always like, "This guy's like the most fucking breakthrough comedian." I was like, I don't know. He says a lot of stuff that like I think about and I agree with, but I never found him that funny. I'm fucking up the name though now.
I don't know if I can think of who it might be.
Let's Google it. 90s philosophical comedian. 90s philosophical comedian. See, Lenny Bruce, George Carlin, and Louis C.K. Bill Hicks. That's who I'm thinking of. Second thing that came up on Wikipedia. Yeah, people like go crazy over Bill Hicks. They're like, he's such a fucking prophet, and like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the stuff he said, like he talked about conspiracy theories and recreational drug use, is like it's interesting, but I would like he wasn't a great joke writer. Like, which is sort of how I would say Joe Rogan's comedy is. Like he just kind of goes on like long rants about shit, and it's like, yeah, it's an interesting thought. I don't know, like what the punchline there was supposed to be, but like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Ivanov says, I like Joe Rogan because he invites people, and if he doesn't agree with that person, tries to make valid arguments on what he disagrees with. Honestly, don't. I'm not on the Joe Rogan hater train. I disagree with a lot of what Joe Rogan says, but like, also like, I don't know. If people are fucking trying to get political or health advice from a fucking old ass comedian, like that's kind of on them. Like he is kind of a fucking idiot, and like, I feel like if you watch enough of his stuff, like you know that like half his podcasts he's like drunk and high or like on mushrooms just ranting about shit and like doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And then people try to like use him as like some like great source of information where it's like he's not doing a news program, he's doing like a comedy podcast. Also, like I don't know, a lot of the episodes I watch with him are with other comedians and his friends, and like very clearly not trying to be serious about any of the shit they're talking about. And they do say offensive stuff, but it's like an attempt at humor and not trying to fucking like I don't know. He's a lot more liberal than people think he is. Like liberal people think Joe Rogan's super fucking conservative, and he's honestly always like he endorsed Bernie Sanders. I think when Bernie Sanders was running, he was always like pretty like on that side of stuff. But like, I think like
shit. I don't see him going to bat for Trump.
No, like I don't know. I think he likes RFK. Robert F. Kennedy is like his guy right now, which I don't know. RFK is I'm not going to get too into politics, but yeah, it's like,
what? RFK, he's a fan of the guy, and the brainworm can be vice president.
But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't watch Joe Rogan for like he's not a political expert. That's not what he does. Like he says dumbass shit. Like he's literally the guy that hosted Fear Factor. Like that was part of his stand up too. Is he's like I don't know. He's like people fucking like started writing like serious news article about shit I was saying while drunk and high with my friends. Like we weren't trying to make people laugh. Like he's like we're just trying to make each other laugh, and then people take that as a fucking, which is somewhat true. But then he also has like scientists and shit on, so it's hard to be like I don't know. Like you are branching over that side, but I've always thought the Joe Rogan podcast is good because it's just like the longest form. I think the long form is what makes it cool. Because even like other podcasts usually go for about an hour. Like when you go with 3 hours with anybody, you get into topics that like they're not going to talk about when they're like, okay, I promoted my special, 30 minutes, talk about stand-up comedy. And by the time you're like in an hour and it's like, then they just have to fucking like go. A lot of people like rehearse. Like you'll see a lot of stand-ups go on multiple podcasts. They tell the same stories on all of them. It's like the new late night show circuit where you're like, oh, this is my funny story here. This is where I do my plug. Like, and that is like 30 minutes of content. And then maybe like an hour or more of other content where like, these are stories I've told that make people laugh. And then like 2 hours in, that's when you start getting like, okay, what do you think about this shit that like you clearly don't have a pre-planned response for? And I think that's sort of where like the Joe Rogan experience is always shine because you're getting like really in depth with also interesting people. Like I'm not really interested in the political and science interviews, but like interviews like Sturgill Simpson doesn't really do interviews very often. And he does that's like the longest interview I've seen with him. He did some with David Lee Roth from Van Halen. He's done some with like Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. Like he's very long conversations with people that like I've never heard speak in that length, and that I find interesting. But like, yeah, I wouldn't call myself like a huge Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan introduced me to people that I now listen to religiously, like Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura were part of his like. You'd have like for him, it was Ari Shaffir, Joe Rogan, Tom Segura, and Joe Rogan did like, what did they fucking call it? They Sober October was like their thing, and that's like they would do it every year where they'd get sober for a month, but then they'd like check in, and then they'd do fitness challenges, and like that got me into like. And I watched like Two Bears One Cave, which is Tom and Bert, and then they introduced me to like. I don't know, a lot of the comedians he's had on, like reoccurring, I watch their podcast now, but I'll watch Joe Rogan occasionally. It's back on YouTube now. I didn't watch it at all when it's on Spotify, but now that it's on YouTube, like, it's also funny. Spotify paid him like hundreds of millions of dollars to be exclusive. The second that like 1 year deal or 2 year deal ended, he re-uploaded everything from Spotify to YouTube. Like all of that content's just now back on YouTube. Of like, he came out like a fucking bandit on that one, but yeah, I'll watch like occasional.
Yeah, they made the offer, so I would take it and do the same thing too.
I also like that he like, I don't know, he started that podcast because he got banned from the Comedy Store for calling out Carlos Mencia for stealing jokes. And Carlos Mencia was so famous at the time that they're like, you can't talk shit about our biggest earner here. Like this guy brings in an audience, so like you're just not allowed back here. So then he started his podcast to like talk more shit about Carlos Mencia and like all the stuff he wasn't allowed to say at the Comedy Store, and like went from like. You watch the early episodes, like 100 through 400, it's horrible fucking production value and like super bad. And he went from like making a pretty awful show to like being the largest like media fucking thing. And like, I don't know, I like his work ethic, and he's just like
$100 million deal with the fucking Spotify. Yeah.
Yeah. And he arguably like people would rather go promote their shit on his thing than like the Tonight Show or like it's a place where you can break into a larger audience than like traditional media. Yeah. And he did that all just with him and his friends, and like not being fucking smart or good at anything, just being like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking talk shit with my friends. And it kind of spiraled out of control into how big it got. And that's why like there are repercussions for him saying all the crazy shit he says, which I don't know, is what it is. But I found him like inspiring as far as like just being like, do your own thing. Don't listen to everybody else. Like people would have told me this is a horrible idea to do like 3.5 hour long form, because that wasn't a thing back then. Like nobody was doing super long form podcasts. And yeah, I don't know, just sticking at something and getting better at it and growing it like authentically. I think that's pretty like inspirational, whether you love Joe Rogan's opinions or not.
This makes me think of that quote from Hansel in Zoolander, where it's just like, one of my heroes, Sting. Sting is a big hero of mine. Like all the music he's made over the years, like I don't really listen to it, but the fact that he's making it though, I respect that.
I would say I haven't listened to 99% of Joe Rogan's podcasts because there's so many fucking.
I totally agree though. I think he's an inspiration, and I think he is like a beacon of, I guess, like free speech in that sense, where it, like, you know, he did come out of like a free speech kind of like thing where it's like, fuck you, I'm going to speak my mind even if it like costs me a paycheck. And that is very commendable.
And that's where he's always been. And that's why like people are getting mad about it now. It's just like, it's literally like what he's always done. But like, I don't know, maybe don't get your information about vaccines from Joe Rogan. Like that's not the source. Like, so the fact that like people are like, go way crazy about that. It's like, I don't know, like Joe Rogan's gonna fucking talk about vaccines, elk meat, homeless people in LA. Like he's got his fucking laundry list of shit he talks about every episode. And I usually fast forward through those parts, even on the ones I do watch. When he starts talking about like how LA is falling apart, like, I don't know, man. I hear your fucking, I've heard that discussion too many times. I know your opinion. Don't care to hear it again. And that's also been his thing, is he's like
not even in LA anymore.
His whole thing has always been, he's like, I don't make it for the audience. I make it for my friends. So he's like, when you talk to your friends, if you talk to one friend, you tell them a story. You talk to the other friends, you're not going to not tell them that. Like, that's just part of the conversation. You're like, what's happening in my life? What am I thinking about? So like, he repeats himself a shit ton, but that's that's just what it is. Like, take it or leave it. And a lot of times I leave it, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
People get big mad about them, and I'm just like, I don't know that like it's that big of a deal. I think people need to get better in general. Just like, if you don't like something, don't watch it. Like, no one's forcing you to watch or listen to or take this person's opinion seriously. Like, there used to be a time where like you fucking didn't have to have an opinion on everything that you didn't like. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel that way with even like
Once upon a time.
Matt Rife's comedy. People are like, he's sexist. He's like, fuck this guy, like cancel. It's like, don't go see his shows. Like, people are allowed to like shit that you don't like. Like, it's weird that like you feel the need for someone to not have a career because you don't agree with them. Like that, I find kind of like, I guess that's where like I kind of agree with the fucking weird cancel culture people where it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know that like which I don't know. For a while, like I used to hate on shit I didn't like. Like I used to be on the Facebook group. Can this pickle get more likes than Nickelback? And say Nickelback sucks. But it's like, you know what? I don't have to listen to Nickelback. Nobody's forcing me to listen to Nickelback. My life is fine listening to the music I like and not thinking about that. But like, I don't know.
Yeah. I nothing Nickelback. I don't dislike it.
Which is where I'm at now. But I definitely was more on the hater ass bitch side of things when I was younger
yeah.
and more opinionated. And if somebody asks me my opinion on something, I guess I'll tell them. But like, I don't need to fucking like point out, like go out of my way to watch stuff that I know I won't like to then like go blog about it. It's like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I could do that too. You know what? I bet you Wolf was falling because it looks like Bitcoin had a nice little dip while we were watching it. A little red candle there.
But at the same time,
Drop
people
back.
are also free to have their opinions. That's the American thing. You can have your opinion, but I do think like it's just weird to be so
Yeah.
outraged over stuff that like you don't really care. Like that has nothing to do with you, I guess. Like we were talking
Yeah.
about like the Australian breakdancing thing where there's like all these people signing petitions to like, it's like, do you give
Yeah.
like none of you cared about breakdancing before the Olympics, nor will you care about it 2 months from now. So like, why bother with all this like energy on this? But like, I don't know if that's always been
Yeah.
a thing. Maybe that's always been a thing. It's just amplified by the internet. But I don't remember that being as big of a thing like before I was on the internet and connected to all that stuff. I feel like, I don't know, like if you watched something and didn't like it, you would change the channel to a different TV station. Like you didn't just fucking like power through and binge watch like 3 seasons of something you fucking hate to then like just go rant about it. Like, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, I mean that's a interesting concept. People should apply.
I've even like a few times in my life, I've even walked out of like a movie theater if I didn't like a movie. Like, I'm not just gonna like sit there and like hate something. But that's back when I had Movie Pass. When I was on Movie Pass, I'd go see everything, and sometimes I'd just be like, "Yeah, I'm like 45 minutes into this. Not for me. I'm out." But
it's not coming around.
I think that's also like, I think that's more fair if you pay for something and then it fucking sucks. Like, I can see that. Like,
Yeah.
you want to go see your favorite artist, you pay a bunch of money, and then they fucking like get too drunk to perform and suck on stage. That I think is something worth complaining about. But like, especially like in the streaming age where like everything is free, it's like no one paid to go watch Joe Rogan special. Like, if you don't like it, just don't go watch it. Like, no one's paying to listen to the Joe Rogan experience. Well, maybe they are, but like Spotify, you can get for free, and it's all free on YouTube. So it's like, you don't like that shit, just fucking avoid it. Like, it's a
Right.
weird, strange concept, but I don't know. People like to hate. All right, let's do this last giveaway and end the
It's
stream.
fun to be out. It is fun to be outraged. Like it gives you a sense of purpose, like a cause to be mad about. People need that, and I think they can't really take the energy into like real causes, so then they're just mad about whatever the fuck's coming on their feed.
I think it's even more than that. Just like a lot of people are unhappy. Like the way that society is set up sucks for most people. Most people work jobs they fucking hate to scrape by, to like live in a place they don't want to live.
Get out of that. You'll never get out of it.
And it's just easier.
And you know it too. I know a few of my friends are like in deep credit card debt, and they're just like they'll go on vacations and stuff, and they're like, yeah, I don't know, like I'm already in debt. It's not like it's gonna get worse. And it's just like, yeah, I
it
guess
does get worse. That's how debt works.
It's worse, but it's also like their whole mentality is just so defeated that they're like, I'm never not going to be in debt. So what am I going to do? Not live my life? And it's just like, yeah, I can't really argue that. Like, definitely. But
My goal is
it's
to just get
also-
cancer and die before I have to pay this debt.
Yeah, exactly. Or the debt collector gets me, like hopefully something else will.
Yeah, I think a lot of the anger at a lot of things is very misguided. Like people are just I don't know, life's fucking tough. Like and a lot of people are in shitty situations and it's easier to just fucking yell about Joe Rogan than it is to like
Yeah.
try to figure out a solution to the problem or I don't know, a lot of
Yeah.
problems don't have solutions either. Like there's not a lot you
Yeah,
can do about
exactly.
like fucking oligarchies and money ruling the world and like you're never going to be a billionaire and those
I'm right.
people decide what happens in your life so it's easier to fucking bitch about some celebrity having an opinion you don't like or a comedian saying shit you don't like than it is to fucking be like, yeah,
That's true.
life
It's
is
just
just unfair.
cathartic. It's cathartic to bitch about stuff too. Like sometimes you just want to be heard, and it's definitely like validating to like hate on something and have someone in the void of the internet come back and be like, "Yeah, fuck that guy. I also hate that shit." It's just like, yeah, brotherhood.
Definitely like, I don't know. I'm trying to avoid it more though. And like, I've been more and
Yeah.
more like, I used to love participating in like YouTube live chat. And it's like starting to the point where they're all so toxic that it's like, I find myself
Yeah.
liking what I'm watching less because of what people are saying about it. And just like, you're kind of ruining my experience of like enjoying this. So like, I don't know, like the constant, like every comment being
Yeah.
fucking toxic is just like, I feel like if you just distance yourself from that and like, I don't know, I feel like if I just didn't use social media for like a week, it would benefit me as far as like just not having that fucking constant noise of negativity hitting you would like improve your quality of life. And I don't know.
It is a lot of negativity out there on those social media platforms.
It's like
It's
everything,
kinda
like every fucking comment section on every video I watch is just someone being like, "You fucking suck. You're a sellout. You like you're." It's like, don't watch that. Like, it's so easy to not watch this if you don't like it. Like, why are you following this
Yeah.
page just to comment on every video that you fucking hate it? Like, it's
Oh, I
people are
love
crazy.
watching like Paul's like Daily Misinformer. The comments are so mean, dude. Oh, it's so funny.
That's like everything though. It's not like, yeah, I don't know. And it's like,
Oh, it's not just his. No, it's just because they put content out there, and people in the comments are like, "Hey, fatty," like just like I don't know, like, "Oh, are you hungry, fatso?" Like just completely unrelated to everything. It's just like people just being mean. Like I think it's hilarious, but I could also see like if you're gonna read those comments and internalize those, like don't fucking do that.
it's just like the whole yuck my yum thing where it's like, I'll see something I like and be like, want to share that I like it with people and click see like, oh, what are people like? What are the other fans of this saying? And it's just like always overwhelmingly like, this shit is fucking. There's a few communities too where I'm starting to learn like the Kill Tony community is the most toxic fucking like. I can't
I'm
even
not
like
surprised by
I
that.
can't even have the live chat open and like it's just people hate everything. It's like, why are you watching this? They're like every comedian sucks, every regular sucks, Tony sucks. It's like, why are you here? Or like, I don't know. But again, I think
Right.
people are taking out anger from other parts of their life. And then I also think like part of like comedy is like roasting and shitting on people. So I think it's a bunch of people like trying to do what they think is funny and just failing at it, and then it
Yeah.
just comes off as like you're an asshole. Which is like a huge portion of. I even think like the Two Bears One Cave has that situation too, where like Tom Segura's humor is very much shitting on people in dark, and people try to do that but just aren't funny, and then it just comes off as mean in the comment section. But I don't know. Let's do this last giveaway
Yeah.
and end it before we got way off the rails. If you want to hear more about my life ramblings, come back tomorrow. We'll be
Yeah,
watching
we'll
off the rails videos, reading those mean comments, and then I will comment on them and say my mean opinions. Do everything I hate. I don't know. I feel like a lot of fucking. We're talking about like karma and shit earlier, where like I feel like people
Yeah.
that put out that negativity in the world get it back, and it makes you more unhappy. It's like a fucking feedback loop of anger and unhappiness, and like you just throwing that energy at somebody else. So you're like, hey, you fucking suck. Someone's gonna reply to that. You're a fucking loser with a shitty job. You're just jealous of these guys because they fucking rock. And then like, I don't know. It's like when you throw that shit out, it's like for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Like I kind of feel in that more than like karma. It's not a 1-for-1, but like if you fucking like put shit out there and are like a dickhead, that's the energy you're gonna get back. So when people are like assholes, and even though they like might make a lot of money and on paper be happy, like a lot of times in reality they're really miserable, and I feel like they're kind of doing it to themselves by being assholes. Whereas like, you know, there's like really poor people, especially like we're talking about religious people. There's some people that are very not well off and like are very positive and like say love each other and like all that shit, and they legitimately are happier than people who are doing much better, you know, on paper. I feel like it's like, I don't know, because of the internet, like we've all forgotten that it's like your mindset can really dictate like how you feel, and just constantly being angry and upset, and like that's just not healthy and not good for you. And like, I don't know, I definitely fell into it a bit because like we did all our crypto shit, and like for better or worse, like 90% of the stuff we bought into on Wax was scams. And like, I do think it's important to call it scammers and shit, but like that shit definitely like deteriorated my both physical and mental health. Like, and like not leaving all those discords of all the scam projects that I'd go hate watch and be like, these fucking assholes, like they haven't updated 6 months, and when they do, they say some bullshit. It's just like, I don't know, not dealing with all that has made me like legitimately happier and focusing on the things I do like. I think that's important. I think that's as important as like balance. Like you can't go too far in one direction. Like you need to, it's important to like, you know, be realistic and protect people from shitheads that are openly scammers trying to launch new shit on Wax. But like, also got to focus on the things you do like and be like, Neon Heroes is really fucking fun. Like, try out Neon Heroes, and like that new game Deadlock we're playing. Like, focus on that and getting better.
Yeah, I do think cutting like the toxic shit out of your life is not a bad idea ever.
I think you can go too far in either direction, because there's also like toxic positivity where you can hurt yourself by not being realistic and being like everything's good all the time when it's not. But then like you can go the other way too, where like I feel like politics also did that to me for a while. Like during COVID, like I just got too invested in like politics and like let that shit affect me, where it's like I can't change any of this stuff. Like fucked up stuff's happening in the world every day, and it will continue to happen in the world every day. And like no matter how much I post about it and argue with people on the internet, like that's not going to change. So like, no, I think it's just important to like remember the balance. And I feel like it's easy to get stuck in either end of that spectrum. And I feel like I'm doing better with that lately. Also, it helps like finding those new games I'm into. Like you've heard me talk nonstop about my strategies in this new fucking Deadlock game, and like focusing on that. And I also feel like doing something repetitively and getting better at it is just such like a gratifying experience that like it's easy to forget. Like, I don't know. Learning music is also like that for me. I've been practicing a lot of music lately, and like sucking at a song and then playing it every day for like 2 weeks and being like, oh, like this song that I could barely play and sing well, I now sound good performing. And like the hard work pays off, and like focusing your time and energy on shit like that, or like even if it's not immediate gratification, like a delayed gratification a couple weeks, like that makes me feel good. And like kind of approaching video games in that way too. Like practice Counter-Strike pretty hardcore, and like I was telling you last night, like been playing a bunch of new games, and I just played Counter-Strike for the first time in like a week or two, and I'm like, oh, like I fucking am good at this game, and like I know what's happening, and it feels good to like know that the months of work I put into something actually have an outcome. And like I feel like if you get too caught up in hating shit, you're not going to get good at anything, you're not going to grow at anything. And like growing and getting better and making yourself better at shit is like a very fulfilling experience that hopefully everybody should fucking work on. Like don't get sucked into fucking binge watching reality TV and like not doing anything all the time, which I also am guilty of sometimes, of just doing nothing but trash with my life and fucking binge watching reality TV and betting on Counter-Strike. And it's like, yeah, that shit's fun temporarily, but like it's not long-term gratifying in the same way that like practicing an instrument, or like, you know, working on Neon Space stuff, or like my gyrating hip stuff, where it's like years of work culminating into something that's much larger than you can do quickly. So that's where we'll end all this chat about fucking cancel culture and hating and negativity. It's like, you know, maybe do that occasionally, but make sure you're getting some fucking focusing on stuff you like and trying to fucking get better at something, which I don't know. Poppin' Stock says, I avoid negativity as much as I can. That keeps me sane.
Probably
Why
not a bad
waste
idea.
my time on things that makes me unhappy or make me complain is not worth it. Yeah, agree, but also sometimes it's easy to get sucked into fucking bitching about stuff. So I try to just do a little bit
It's
of both.
cathartic too. Sometimes it's nice to bitch about stuff.
I think if
Feel
you
like
just
you're being
ignore that
heard.
stuff, it can also be negative affect you. Like feeling stuff is important. Like trying to just be like, I don't want to
Yeah.
feel sadness or upsetness. Like that'll also like fucking push you until you snap. So like I think it's important to process your emotions, but I do think avoiding things that you know are going to upset you could be helpful. Like putting yourself in a situation where you know you're going to be upset constantly like isn't probably good for you. But yeah, let's
Yeah.
listen to Buying the Dip. Talk more about
Oh, it's been a minute.
philosophy and
Yeah, we
random
have a
videos
little
tomorrow.
dip going on too, at least.
And
on
I
the
don't know
very
if you should
short
buy
term.
it. We don't know what's happening with the market right now.
Yeah,
Could
it's still
recover,
undecided.
could dump harder.
It's also, I mean, we saw it earlier when we were looking at it. It literally made it to the very top of that weekly doji, and now it looks like it's retracing back down. So, undecided.
But for
Buying the
funsies, we're going to listen to Buying the Dip and rating someone. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate you hanging out on this long-ass stream through the tech and the non-tech stuff. But yeah, tomorrow, a non-tech stream. Probably just be me because Max is going to be busy. Watch some funny videos, do lots of giveaways, and hopefully see you then. Here's Buying the Dip with Meet Kevin and Charles Payne.
Buying the dip. Oh man, your boy Kevin just lost lots of money. Oh, but that's okay. I am with you, with you. Oh man, your boy Kevin just lost lots of money. Oh, but that's okay. I am
Kevin's
with
lost
you.
lots of money.
Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening?
First of all this whining by Wall Street is making me sick. 140% of GameStop was short. GameStop was short. You can't allow Wall Street to short 75% of a stock, crush these companies into the dirt, thousands of stocks into the dirt. Then when the individual makes money, everyone's entrepreneurs. I have a kid who bought a house, paid $50,000 and bought a house. After decades of the shorts, you have to accept the fact that individual investors are playing the same game that you're playing and now you're losing.
Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the
And now
dip,
you're
buying the
losing.
dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening? Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, push it, push it. Buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening?
There's a lot of power in organization online. 2 million people can get together in a subreddit. I think it's really funny that the GameStop stock is going up and just affects the market in that way.
All right,
There's
peace out, everybody.
20,000 people live in a
Catch you tomorrow.
Discord who are spamming rocket emojis, yelling, "Go to
See
the
you.
moon."